Hello and welcome to Film Hunters, where we try and hunt for a film with decent writing in this day and age.
I'm Aaliyah.
And I'm Jonathan.
And today we're going to be talking about Superman 1.
It's not Superman 1, it's not the first one.
Superman.
It's just Superman, but it's not the first one. There was one in 1951, Superman and the Mole People.
And the Mole? Never mind.
Yeah, the Mole People.
Okay. This was made in 1978.
Superman 78, we're just going to call it
Superman 78.
Yeah, the one with, what's Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, where they can't say Krypton.
Yeah, they kept saying Krypton, not Krypton.
Krypton, yeah.
Krypton. And then you started saying Krypton.
We were watching the movie and
yeah,
I kept
and you
saying
started saying
Krypton.
It was so funny. Yeah, so we're going to try to say Krypton.
Probably only feel funny to ourselves, but okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Krypton. So, what'd you think of this movie?
Overall,
it's a classic.
It is a classic, and I didn't realize how boring it was until I rewatched it. Like, as a child, it was like...
Oh, it was so epic.
It was so epic.
I remember when I was done, I'm like, yeah, I'm Superman.
Yeah! It was so awesome. And now I rewatched it, and I'm like, well, I was bored. So, it kind of just was, and things just kind of happened.
Like, it's not like I'm bad.
No, it just was mediocre, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was...
So you're saying if it's on TV and you're at an airport, don't change the channel? That's about it?
I would change the channel.
Yeah, but you're at an airport.
See, the thing is, I've never flown.
That is true.
So I don't have that experience of...
Fine.
It's not...
What if you're at the gym?
Yeah, I wouldn't change... I would change the channel because I really like to be entertained when I'm at the gym to avoid the pain.
She works out more than me. Pain. Okay, so it's not even that mediocre that you won't change.
It's not exciting. Like, if I was
okay, you have a higher standard for gym movies than I do.
I do. I want, like...
She's like, oh, the second Godfather. It's not even as good as the first. I'm going to switch the channel.
I was literally
Casablanca, what is this movie? It's not as good.
Yeah, Casablanca wasn't exciting.
Hey!
Well, it was exciting, but it wasn't, like, super action-packed. Like, I'd have to watch a Tom Cruise movie to not be bored at the gym. Because it's all action. Let's be honest here.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, I'd have to watch something that's super duper action
okay, that's
for the
it.
gym.
We have to talk about Fast and Furious now.
No, not Superman. I'm not
it's a superhero. No, okay.
No, it's not.
Superman. So overall, my thoughts was it's mediocre. Mm-hmm. I'd watch it on an airplane. I'd put it on when I'm going to sleep.
Yeah. Except I'd get
no, the
too
music
awake.
is too good.
Yeah, I'd get too awake and be like, oh, John Williams, yes!
Yeah, music is actually good.
Okay,
if the music was bad, I'd put it on. Dude, it's too bad for me to put... It's just...
It kind of is.
It just is.
Just boring.
Okay, that's all I can say, man. It is.
Yeah, well, do you want to get into the plot?
Okay, so, the plot, start with the intro. We watched the extended edition.
Yeah,
so this might not...
First time.
Yeah, first time we watched the extended edition. So it kind of started like black and white, like you're in an old 30s theater, and they're like, oh look, this is Superman with the comics, which is interesting because it presupposes that you know the comics.
That is true. Which I don't.
Yeah. It does presuppose that, which basically, but if you go later in the movie, it doesn't, because it does like triple, quadruple.
Yeah, it does.
It does a lot of exposition.
It does a lot of not random, but like it expositions 3-4 times, and like, but I thought you wanted us to be aware of the comics.
Yeah. And
yet you're expositioning on us.
I don't know. It's kind of like showing like the Bruce Wayne's death in Batman. Okay.
Yeah, every single time.
I mean, to be fair, I'm going to give them a bit of a slack on the intro because because this was in 78. It's not like we have an additional like 50-40 years of cultural knowledge of Superman that we're building off of.
That is true.
But at the same time, that intro, like that little first part, is pointless.
completely pointless. It didn't add
like,
anything. It just kind of made me be like, what?
Yeah, I was confused.
Why?
And it kind of breaks the fourth wall a little bit.
It does.
So it kind of like I'm trying to get engrossed, but it kind of just stops it. But then again, it went out into like these uber long credits.
Yeah, it definitely.
It was like 5 minutes or something.
Stops your immersion. Like,
yeah,
you're like, I'm ready. Let's go to Superman.
But I think that might have been a union thing back then, and that's why like all the films from that age, like Sleeping Beauty, does it.
Yes, Sleeping
Beauty does it. So I think it might be a thing from like a union thing from the times.
Maybe so.
So it's not their fault.
Yeah, but it.
Yeah, but
it got you hyped up, and like with the music, and
music
then like
was good.
the credits
and
kept
then,
going.
Oh my goodness.
And they kept going.
Okay. Talk about hyped up. And it's so boring. So we open. I didn't even tell a joke. We open.
No, because I know what you're going to talk about.
We open on a trial with Jor-El and with General Zod and his minions, and they're being tried for a coup.
Which has nothing to do with the entire movie.
No, it has nothing to do with the movie.
Only the second one.
Yeah, they're setting up the second one, so they were very sure they were going to get a sequel.
I guess they thought they did well.
Extremely so sure. Well, to be fair, they got 3.
They did.
Superman 2, 3, 4, and we are going to have to watch all of them.
Oh, dear. Okay.
And this is when I'd plug my Patreon for my suffering, but we don't have one.
Not yet.
Anyway. Yeah, so a trial, and we'll talk about Jor-El as a character later, because he is kind of important, because he's trying to give his values to Superman.
Right, that's true, but it's later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So the council declares him guilty, because obviously, and then Zod, he's like, join me, and we can rule the galaxy with you as number 2.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he said. And then Jor-El
he didn't even say like you can be in charge of the civilian affairs and I'll be the military.
No, he's just like, you'll be at my side, number 2.
Yeah,
like,
he didn't even say or like and we'll evacuate the we'll evacuate the planet as you keep claiming we must do.
Yeah,
that would have actually tied it together.
Then it maybe have tempted Jor-El, but
to see him like pause and like consider and overcome his morality, that actually would have been a good dilemma.
Yeah, and it would have made it pointful. Like at this point,
it would have given it a point. It would have helped establish his character as honorable, because I mean, he walks away without saying anything. So I mean,
yeah, he just kind of walks.
He is like, he doesn't act. He is.
Yeah, he just exists.
It's like, you're not an honorable man if you sit and do nothing, right? Even if doing nothing is the right thing. I mean, sure, in this world it could be like that, but this is not the real world. So you have to have him do something, actually challenge him, make him pause and consider. Say, you know. Anyway, so that is, and then he sends him to the Phantom Zone, which is like this mirror dimension. It like, I don't want to call it the mirror dimension, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's like a pane of glass, and they're stuck in a pane of glass.
Yeah, the pane of glass goes towards them, and then just like
and then
smashes them in, and then just flies away. Like, even later when Superman is flying to Earth, it's just, you see it just floating, and they're still there. So
you can't see it, but they were like pounding.
Yeah, they had like their hands on the, like, you're pounding until like
they're trying to get out.
Yeah, trying to get out, but like
flying.
It was just really weird. It was.
I'm not sure, because later in the movie they're like, and you put them in the would you like to go to the Phantom Zone, Jor-El, that you discovered? And that kind of makes it seem like I'm saying it makes it seem like a dimension, but it doesn't look like a dimension. Like if you'd seen like things rip open, they could have like, okay, we gotta give them a bit of thing because it's 70s, but you could have drawn that. It like rip open
everything else
and then
was bad enough, so.
Yeah, it's just even some bad effects. I'm just saying it would have looked more like a dimension, because it's a dimension.
Yeah, because it just seems like you shoved them in a piece of glass and made them 2-dimensional.
I don't know. It's just weird. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm sure everyone knows the plot of Superman. You know, he goes and he says, "Oh, we're gonna get destroyed in 30 days."
Yeah, 30 days.
30 days.
That's important. And then everyone's like, "Oh,
no, it's just shifting the orbit."
Yeah, it's just shifting. It's fine. Also, talk about their costumes real quick.
Okay. So their costumes, I'm wondering if what they did is kind of like the thing that they had for the lightsabers, where they had retro-reflective material on it to like make it glow. And I kind of get what they were doing with the etherealness, but you couldn't see their faces.
No, it washed them out completely.
Yeah.
And it just didn't really.
And Krypton as a whole, it looks like it's sameness, flatness, ice planet. It doesn't look high tech. I don't feel high tech.
No, I just feel like they're like cavemen hiding in the ice.
Yeah, cavemen hiding in the ice with their robes.
Costumes.
Yeah. Yeah, because the comics actually has like a lot of cool stuff. Because did you know, one city of Krypton actually survived in the comics.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, I think it's called Agrarius or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was shrunk into a jar by Brainiac.
Okay.
And Superman actually rescued it. So there's actually, he has a jar that has a Kryptonian city in it.
He can't unshrink it?
I don't know.
He can knock on the glass and say, hey, little people in there.
Yeah, they're in a jar. They're like in a jar.
That's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I've read that comic. It's funny.
Okay.
But yeah, and then Krypton does have a sister planet.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, that's where Supergirl comes from. We will have to watch the Supergirl movie sometime. Not the show, but the movie. I don't know if we'll get to the Arrowverse or not. Don't give me that face.
Like
the first 2 seasons of Flash are good.
Yeah.
Or are they?
I don't know because I thought this was good.
Well,
I thought this is great.
And that's why we're on a film hunt to find
dear.
something with some decent writing.
It's gonna be a long.
Not anyway. So the costumes, like, I normally don't want to like talk about costumes because they're kind of like, I think the best costume is when you don't really notice it.
Yeah.
Or when you're like,
but this was
that's
very
cool.
obvious.
Yeah.
And it kind of distracted me. Like I was like, oh wait, I need to pay attention to the dialogue.
I couldn't see their faces. I couldn't. It was anyway.
It was hard to read them.
So honestly, them saying, "Oh, the orbit's just moving."
Yeah, that's kind of like
that's not good.
Stupid.
that's
like oh, we're getting progressively closer to the sun. It's fine. We know how science works. Orbits move. Don't you know that?
Yeah.
Orbits move all the time.
That happened last week.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like, it's like if I go into this place, I'm like, guys, there's a giant earthquake. And they're like, no, it's just a rock slide.
Yeah, they're like, rocks move.
It's dangerous anyway. Get out of here.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't moving their orbit, like, you have to be a certain way away from the sun in order for things not to happen. Also, they're an ice planet that was really close to the sun.
No, it's a crystal planet, not an ice planet.
Oh, I forget it's crystal.
Yeah, it's crystal.
It just seems icy.
But where do they get their food? Because, like, in the comics, they have actual fields and farms and stuff.
Crystal bread.
It's like Star Wars. Precious crystal foxes.
Oh, my word.
Did they have the foxes on there?
Oh, my word. Yeah, it was... Yeah, but then they threatened him and they're like, hey, look, we will... What did they threaten him with?
Phantom Zone.
Oh, yeah, they threatened him with the Phantom Zone that he discovered. It was
Thank
so
you
clunky.
for that wasn't even needed exposition.
Yeah, no. Why do we care if he discovered it? He dies.
Yeah, but okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Zod vows his revenge, so we could say that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is Zod was like, "Oh, you walked away from me and didn't talk. Well, I vow revenge on you and your heirs because I know that you're going to die, and I have to take out Superman now."
Yeah.
So.
And I'm sorry, revenge is kind of a weak motivation.
Revenge is, yeah.
Like it works. If the rest of the movie works, it works.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we discussing the motivation? He's not even in this movie.
No, he's not. Not yet. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, we are way ahead of ourselves. Anyway, but yeah, so finally we get to Superman, baby Superman.
Naked baby Superman.
Well, not yet. Not just yet.
There's too many naked babies in this movie.
I'm like, am I watching Boss Baby? No, it's worse than Boss Baby.
Yeah, so we get to the point where his mother was really ugly.
You're roasting the poor woman.
She was. Like, I don't know if it's just 80s, but like...
No, I think it might have been the lighting accentuating her wrinkles or something, because she was in the glowy.
Like, wrinkle and like it was just...
Well, she's supposed to be old.
She didn't look like...
She didn't look like matronly, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a kindly old woman.
She didn't seem like regal and like...
Is he supposed to be regal?
Well,
why is Jor-El on the council? He's a scientist.
No, he discovered the Phantom Zone.
Okay. I must admit that when Sir Isaac Newton discovered gravity, they did make him a sir. Fun fact. Isaac Newton has only said one thing in his time in the House of Lords. He made a motion for the window to be closed because there was a draft. That's it.
You know, props to Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah. Dude, that dude was a Chad.
Yeah.
Honestly,
major Chad. So
anyway,
yeah, they're preparing this weird crystal thing. Like,
this
he's
weird
making
spaceship,
the crystals and just like setting them there.
Yeah, how is that airtight or anything?
How is that anything?
And
useful?
then he's like, "Oh, I have this crystal that's like has my memories and stuff in it."
Yeah, the
and
green
he puts
one.
it there.
That
no,
I
not
thought...
the green one. The other one, because he said another one had his memories, and you see Superman pull it out.
How can you tell the difference?
Because that one, because he specifically was talking while he picked it up.
Yeah, but like
and then it
it's
looked
white.
The same.
How can Superman tell the difference?
Okay, we're getting ahead. We'll get to the computer when we get there. And then he puts the green one in there. Why that doesn't kill Superman? Because that looks like kryptonite. I have no idea.
Like, is it not kryptonite? Why is it there?
What's
why
the
is
rules?
it green? What's going on?
Why did the meteorite, the pits of Krypton, turn green?
Yeah, and all this while they are
because I'll tell you this, in the comics, if the sun was green, Superman would be depowered.
Oh yeah,
but
wasn't there one where he went to some place and the sun was a different color? And
he went to the place to like free these people from this dictator, and then he put like a lens over the sun specifically because he knew Superman would get defeated because of that. But Superman beat him anyway.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Anyway.
But like the whole time while he's like putting crystals down and whatever, he's just expositioning. He's like, he'll have superhuman abilities. He will be an outcast where he goes. And she's like, but why send him to Earth? He's like, what reason did he give? She's like,
because he'll look like them, I think.
Was that what?
And because he'll blend in.
But then he's like, he'll be an outcast and no one will accept him because he has powers.
So why don't you send him to the Kryptonian sister world then, or to a Kryptonian outpost? Because those did exist.
Right. Except like.
And like, it's just they were destroyed or something.
With Supergirl, right? That was his cousin.
No, that's his cousin.
Yeah,
well, no, because Aquarius also got destroyed, I think, or whatever. I think it also got. I'm not sure.
Well,
how did they
know? It just. I mean.
I don't know. Well, to be fair, I don't think the
her.
sister. They don't have to have. Okay, to be fair, they don't have to have the sister world exist.
That's true. And it may not have existed because
may not. Yeah.
1978. So.
This is 70. No, Supergirl existed in 78. I'm fairly certain. Because I'm fairly certain. Okay. This is a complete aside, but they actually messed over Supergirl hard post-crisis because they made Superman the last son of Krypton, like the last Kryptonian, and then forgot about Supergirl. So they made her like this weird invention by Lex Luthor.
Well, I've heard of that.
Yeah, like a clone or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like a clone, and they kind of did that with like Superboy and whatever.
Superboy's been a clone like forever, by the way.
Yeah, but like.
But Supergirl wasn't, and then they had to do that because Last Son of Krypton.
Yeah.
I don't know. Post-crisis got a little weird for a while, but pre-crisis was also very weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking about that, but even pre-crisis, time travel's getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh dear. Yeah,
We're gonna have to have an entire mini conversation just on the rules of time travel.
Yeah. So he's expositioning.
And then there's like a power overdraw, right?
Right. And
from what? I think it's him making the
crystals. And
yeah.
They're like, oh, there's a power overdraw in Jor-El's place. Send this guard, and then the guard disappears. And I think
guard's costume is so tismy.
It was so bad. You guys look up the guard's costume. It was so bad. But because it's just completely white, and he has a helmet.
Okay, you know those dudes like the scientists wear when they're near volcanoes.
No.
They wear like these shiny outfits when they're volcanoes.
Yeah.
It's like that, but white.
Yeah.
And then the guard never appears. I think they accidentally disintegrated him.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that was not a transportator. That was a disintegrator because he was mad at him.
Though, if they have a teleporter, why not teleport everyone off world for 30 days just to be safe?
Just in case.
Because they have teleportation.
Yeah. But
also, why not teleport Superman there?
Yeah, why do the whole crystal thing anyway?
Just teleport him there. And teleport yourself there.
Yeah, why couldn't they survive?
I think it was that they didn't have enough time or energy to build like a like a spaceship. But then again, they did have 30 days.
Supposedly.
Allegedly.
They allegedly had 30 days, and then immediately after, they, like, sent this guard to supposedly go take out
And
Jor-El.
then they, like, put the crystals in slurry, and everything's, like, crashing.
Yeah, everything's crashing
and it
down.
flies away.
It flies away, and then they go back to the council, and things are just...
happening. They're destroying.
They're just getting destroyed. I mean, supposedly 30 days.
Yeah.
And suddenly, everything's just getting destroyed. I mean, these dudes are, like, falling off and dying, and it's crazy.
Be honest, I didn't care.
Yeah, I did not care either because these guys were
I cared a
jerks.
little when Jor-El died. Like, that was a little...
remember
Did we
him
even see him die?
I
Or
don't-
did we just see them staring off into space? And
I think we just saw them staring off. I don't think we saw them die.
should have had him die. Because
Yeah.
that would have given us something to care a little about. You're like, oh.
Right. Because whenever you introduce a movie, you have to introduce your main character. We were not introduced to our main
No.
character. We were introduced to Jor-El, so we care about Jor-El right now.
I don't.
Well, you're supposed to. Because that's automatically the first person you're introduced to, you care about. Because you're like, okay, this is a movie, this is who I'm supposed to care about. And then, at the very end, we have to start switching to Superman.
We're like, okay, Superman.
Yeah.
Which, here's the thing. That kind of works with Superman because we already have a pre-existing connection with Superman. And that goes back to what I was saying, that this movie actually assumes that you know the comics at least a little bit.
Yeah, so it wasn't so bad trying to switch them from
Yeah,
bad to
yeah, because you're here for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're here for Jor-El. No one cares about Jor-El.
No offense.
But you give a care about Superman.
Yeah.
So it is an easier transition.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's still 10 minutes for our main character.
Yeah.
And then they
Before
stick.
you meet our
Yeah,
character.
and then they stick him in the pod, and he goes, and he flies past his hidden zone. Why did those guys stop screaming when they saw Krypton got destroyed? They should have been like, Jor-El, my man, thank you, you saved us.
Wait, why? Well, because they're still alive in the Phantom
Yeah,
Zone.
so they survived.
They must have flown off too fast to see it.
No, because they were spinning around.
they're
Oh,
too
cool,
dizzy.
thanks, Jor-El. Okay. How do you have dizziness? They're in another dimension.
I guess so, but
Dude, though, that I would have...
Sure.
That would have made me know motion sick. Ugh, I'm getting motion sick just thinking about spinning.
honestly, spinning through space. Yeah, okay, I gotta stop thinking about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, double exposition.
Yeah, double exposition because we get exposition of Jor-El while he's making the crystal thing and putting naked baby Superman in there. And then...
We get exposition by Superman, and he starts talking about random Earth concepts and other concepts, and it's like teaching him the knowledge of 28 galaxies. But later it's going to teach him the knowledge of 28 galaxies again. So
why twice?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he says... tells Superman not to interfere in human history?
So we're setting up his motivation, his values. Don't interfere, be passive and neutral, which kind of does fit Jor-El's character.
Yeah, it does fit Jor-El's, but then he's like, be a leader, which is kind of what Jor-El tried to be. He was like, we need to do this, and he was trying to lead these people to safety and life, but
that's interfering.
But not in his... That's the thing, is that at what point is interference? Like, is using your powers interference, or is just talking to people? Is that interference?
Yeah. Okay, so Superman never uses his powers, but decides to run for president and starts a war. Great, he just interfered, but he never used his powers.
Yeah, so...
Like, what are the rules?
What are the rules?
Anyway, we'll get on to that. We're on the plot. So, he crash lands on Earth.
Yep, naked baby
and
Superman.
We see his, I don't know how to put his politely, his ding dong.
He is naked.
Doodads.
Stop.
I did not need to see that.
He is naked. He is a naked baby. He just stands up and just spreads his arm wide.
Look out, world! Superman is here, Man of Steel.
Here I am. And so, of course, his mom's like, I must keep him.
You know how mothers are with naked babies. I think we all have our mothers have. Oh my goodness! Look at his little thing. Look and go to her friends and be like, "Oh look!
Stop.
He's in the bathroom. He's taking on the
Too
toilet."
many naked baby pictures.
Yes, please donate for $1 a month. You could save people from naked baby pictures. We will personally go and destroy all naked baby pictures
Only
in all
$1
houses.
a month?
Yes.
Those mothers hide them hard. Like,
No, it's like a donation, in the arms of an angel.
Insert sad puppies.
I don't know. Insert sad naked babies. Okay. But I'll give them this. The heart foreshadowing was subtle.
Yes, because he was working on the truck because it had a
It's
flat
directly
tire.
relevant.
Yeah, and she said, "Be careful about your heart."
Yeah.
So foreshadowing for the whole heart issue was subtle and was really good. And
I like that. And then you decided to keep him.
Well, but the thing is that it does a fantastic. They should have only kept this. The expositioning for his powers.
Oh yeah, because he caught the truck.
Yeah, because the thing underneath the truck just kind of fell over.
Happens.
And so Jonathan, jumped back, and then baby Superman, not naked now, lifted the truck up.
He's got his cape as like a skirt.
Yeah, he's got a little skirt going on. And he lifted the truck up.
Tarzan.
No. And he lifted the truck up. And, that was it showed his powers. And later, as he went through high school, it shows even more of his powers.
Yeah.
So why did we have to be told twice, and later on the third time?
Because I think we are told. Yeah, we are told.
We're told the third time when Dad shows up. So.
Okay. And then it jumps from that to him at the football field.
Yes. And Lana?
Lana Lang shows up. And, why? That's like a wink and a nod to the comic people. Because I don't care about her. And she shows
Lana
up.
Lang's boyfriend is just
Is that a boyfriend? Was that her boyfriend?
Must have been. He was just a
I think he was just a weirdo, like some random dude that was creeping on girls or something.
No,
do we ever see his arm around her? And then
no, he just manhandles her.
Yeah.
That's all he does is he grabs her and manhandles her.
So here's the thing. They're setting up our dislike of this guy.
True.
Because having a dude mistreat a woman is a good shorthand.
Yeah.
Mistreat a woman, mistreat an animal, mistreat someone weaker than him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, and because he mistreated her, it made Superman very angry.
Yeah. It's supposed to make the audience angry too, but what I was saying is our anger is against this guy, but he's not the villain.
Right. So it kind of sets up a villain, and then it just doesn't.
It goes nowhere. They just call him a weird.
But then Superman
he's all like, he's seething, and then he picks up football into space, honestly. And then it goes to like a train.
Yeah. Oh yes.
I thought the football was gonna come down under the track.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to save the train because I'm an idiot.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, everyone thought.
Yeah.
And then.
So he's running along the train, getting home, just kind of, and that's another way it shows his powers.
Yeah,
he can run
I like
fast.
that.
It's good. Show, not tell. And so he's running along, and this little girl says, "Mom, look outside.
Must
There's
be
this
like
man that's running with
7, 8.
Seven, probably. Yeah.
We'll go 7.
7, and her mom's like, "Oh, don't worry about that." And then Superman, he goes and he runs in front of the train, and
which very dangerous.
If he had been hit, the train would have been gone.
Yeah.
So he gets past, and then just inertia just stops.
Actually, no, because I'm going to say the inertia, because he's not heavier. He's just invulnerable. So it would have made like a mark in the train, but it would have kept going. Still would have caused property damage, though. Still.
Yeah, that's true.
But it wouldn't have gone.
Yeah. So.
And destroyed the whole train.
Yeah. So then he runs away, and then it goes back to the little girl in the train. And she's like, "Oh, Lois Lane, you're going to be a great reporter someday with all these stories."
Yeah, with all this writing and stuff. I'm like...
And I said to myself, Clark Kent is in high school.
Yeah.
And
so, at minimum, he's 14. He looks to be 16 or 17. Yeah, I'd go with 17, because we see Lana and the jerk in a car, so they're driving around. So, at 17, maybe even 18.
Yeah, 17 or 18. Lois Lane is 7.
Let's go with 18.
Or 8.
Yeah, because...
And they just randomly say, "You're going to be a great reporter."
Which is just really clunky. And why do you need Lois here? She's unnecessary.
Why do you have to say, "Oh"?
You don't have to introduce the love interest as early as the protagonist.
Not when she's 8.
Because our feelings, right, for the protagonist are going to transfer to the love interest pretty easily. So it's not even necessary. You could wait until the second act.
Yeah.
This is all the first act.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so he goes back. And
he talks to his dad.
No, and then they ask him, how'd you get here? He's like, I ran. He's like, you're such a weirdo, kid.
Yeah, and then everyone just, like, he just calls him a weirdo because he got there before them. And then...
I don't know, man. Like, he knew it's your shortcut.
Yeah.
And then his dad calls him out for showing off, which, to be fair, you shouldn't really show off. And Superman is a good point, you know. Do birds show off when they fly? And then I think we get into, like, the heart.
What did he say?
I think I wrote it down.
I think I did too. Oh, no I didn't. Unless I put it in my scene.
Exposits those powers.
Make the baby. I just put that in my scenes. Nope, I didn't.
Nope. Yeah.
Also, can I just mention some music here real quick?
Yeah.
So, when Krypton was being destroyed, we had some very triumphant music.
I honestly think...
I was like, yes, Krypton being... Oh, wait a second.
From the looks of it, it's like we were watching a nuke over Berlin in World War II.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, die Nazis.
It was very triumphant, and I was like...
Maybe Zod was right to coup these idiots.
You know, he may have been.
So, music mismatch was...
Yeah, the whole thing just had some really weird music mismatch. And I don't think that was John Williams' fault at all. Usually the editor.
Did he write any sad tracks, though?
No, even at the funeral scene.
It was too...
It was not
upbeat.
sad.
But we'll get to the funeral scene when we talk about this. Okay, I gotta say, one of my favorite parts of this movie, and what I really think we can all learn from as a writers, is they've set up Superman and his power, and they've had the "with great power comes great responsibility" speech.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and they said, you know, and they're trying to give him... Actually, did I write this down in the character part? Angry...
Oh, great...
Oh, yeah. As in they're saying you have to find your reason. As in, I don't know why you're here, but you're here for a reason. And then...
And that reason is not showing off at football games. That reason is not making touchdowns. So he's kind of quelling that anger that... He's
like, dude, just chill. You have a purpose. Which I did like that. It could have been... I think it could have used, like, a redraft.
A little bit.
But, like, the core...
And it's so convenient that it happened right before he died.
Did you notice this? Superman killed him.
Yes.
Superman had him run.
Killed his father.
He's like, come on, let's run. And the dude isn't like, wait, my heart. He's like, "Rrr."
Yeah.
And then he had a heart attack. I'm like, oh my goodness. Which I don't think they intended.
I don't think so, but like they just...
Maybe they did. Maybe they did, but like it was like an accident on Superman's part. But I do know what they intended was this is something Superman couldn't help.
Right. He could not stop him from having a heart attack.
Yeah. I think Dragon Ball Z actually has something similar to this, where Goku gets sick and dies. And it's like, you know, even with all your power, can't stop this.
I mean...
And then someone goes back in time and gives Goku the cure.
Oh my word. I thought Goku was a main character, dude.
Yeah, so. Yeah. They gave him that. Dude, it's anime. Yeah. They have resurrection things.
I mean...
Like the Dragon Balls resurrect people.
Oh my word. Yeah, so it just kind of proved that he can't help everyone. It doesn't matter how many powers he has, how useful he makes them or whatever. He can't save everybody, and he especially can't save the people that are close to him.
Yeah. Yeah, if they followed through with that, that would have been nice.
Well, yeah.
So, and then
they have...
So the radio's on for some reason.
Wait, no, they had the funeral.
Oh yeah, they had the funeral.
The funeral, which I would just like to point out, it wasn't raining.
Good.
I was pretty happy with that. I was like, wow, you know, for 70s, that's pretty good.
Maybe it was before the trope.
Maybe so.
Not film experts, we're writing experts. Self-declared writing experts.
So, yeah, it wasn't raining, and the music was not. And Superman kind of was talking.
Do a harpsichord. Do a piano. Just switch
you're
out.
You're talking to John Williams, who only does brass, and you tell him to do something else. What are you?
Counterpoint. He used woodwinds in the cantina.
Yeah, you should have done some woodwinds or something. But even just, you can make a sad brass.
Ooh,
just make it...
I don't know music. You do.
you can make a sad brass.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, the editor was like, no, let's make this kind of like happy. And after he just said, I can't save everybody I love.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tonal mismatch, which makes you...
It didn't add to the tone. The tone just was kind of weird.
I wasn't bored yet, though.
I was kind of invested in Superman.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Superman, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got going on. And then...
And then the radio was on. Does he sleep with the radio on?
I don't know. He just kind of woke up and
it was
like,
on.
oh,
It was
and
buzzing.
Flipped it off.
He didn't need to have it on, actually. It was unnecessary. Because I was wondering, is like it interfering with the radio? But no.
No, I thought that's what he heard, the interference.
That's what I thought at first, because that would explain, like, because, you know, his father died, so he's feeling sad, so he goes to sleep with the radio on to, like, comfort himself. And then that's the reason why he discovers it, because of the interference. Granted, I guess it only happens at night or something? Maybe something with the atmosphere? I don't know. But, yeah, that leads us to the problem. How did he find that crystal?
He just walked into the barn and opened something that looks suspicious.
Why not have his mother show it to him?
Because I cannot answer that.
Yeah. So that's what's called, I believe it's called the Codex, that crystal. And it holds all of, like, Kryptonian
Yes,
knowledge.
the green one.
Yeah, the green one.
Yeah.
Holds all Kryptonian knowledge.
Yeah, and then, so that happens, and then he just finds the crystal, he's cool.
Yeah, and then he goes to the North Pole.
Well, no, we have the scene with his mother.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. It's so boring.
Okay, yeah. She's just going about her daily business, saying hi to the bird, good morning, bird, and then just kind of, Clark, time to get up, or whatever. And then she opens the door, and then she just sees him standing out in the field, so she just walks to the field with him. What was he even? Oh, he's like, I need to go. And she's like, I'll tell you what. I wrote it down. This is what she says to him. She says, remember, son. Always remember. And then she gave him a hug.
We backed that up. Because we're like, remember what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What are we supposed to be remembering?
Your father? Remember your purpose. Remember to do your laundry. Remember to send me half your checks.
Remember to call me once a week.
Did they have phones back then? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. Remember the phone booth thing?
Get to it when we get to it. So that was purposeless. That whole scene just wasted time. I wonder if that was like a cut scene and they re-edited it for the extension. Because it felt so purposeless.
Maybe so. But like at some point, you when you do an extension, it's not useful. You know what I'm saying? Like
you shouldn't extend for the sake of extension.
Yeah, in Lord of the Rings, when you extend it, like some of those scenes add more to like the lore. They're like, oh, this is the lore and whatever, and I think it. I've only seen the extended, so I don't know which ones aren't included. But you know, there's not really any purposeless scenes. Mm-hmm. But like in this, I don't know, they were probably.
In fact, they even cut out some very purposeful scenes in the book.
Amen.
Such as Tom.
No.
Bombadil. What?
The argument between Gimli and Legolas and Lorien.
No.
Hands down.
Bombadil. I would have cut the entire Siege of Helm's Deep if we could get Tom's Bombadil. The entire thing. It's stupid. I don't like it.
Tom Bombadil.
It's a useless. Like it doesn't mean anything. Like who cares? Like it has no relevance to the War of the Ring.
Oh my.
Who cares about Rohan? Rohan's stupid. Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell? Off somewhere, because Rohan is stupid.
You know, look, we're getting distracted.
So, but yeah, that was a useless scene. Yeah, when you want to do an extension, you add like tidbits for the world building. You add like a little bit of characterization. Yeah. It shouldn't fix the film, and it shouldn't make the film boring. Right.
Yeah, and then he just decides to leave and go make his Fortress of Solitude. So he's just walking around. He's like, oh, this green crystal. Pretty cool. But what would be better if I threw it? So he throws it.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then he hikes all the way there, walks. I know this guy can run super fast. He can fly. Now he walks there.
He's struggling. He's not even jumping.
No, he's not. He's just going, let me climb over these things.
Fun fact, though, the original Superman could not fly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hence leap tall buildings in a single bound.
Right. He could just jump really
Because he was based off of circus strongmen.
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually why his outfit has the underwear on the outside, because that's what circus strongmen would wear. They'd wear tights with that.
Okay, then.
So, Fortress of Solitude kind of comes out of left field.
It does? Like his dad names it too?
No, I'm just saying, like, the entire concept, like, just...
Yeah, you're just like,
doesn't
wait,
follow.
what? And then he just picks up a crystal that came from this one crystal. Like, the crystal makes all of the crystal
stuff
fortress.
grew, yeah.
And then he's just, like, puts it in one of these little glass jar things.
No, he takes the original crystal that the dad was, like, talking about when he put onto the ship, onto the thing.
But, like, where did it come from?
I don't know,
because
man.
Because he didn't have it with him.
Yeah,
he just
didn't.
picks it up off of the table.
It's not like he had his old ship and he, like, took a ship there.
No, it was just that one green.
And it, like, generated a whole computer, because I think that was a computer.
It must have been their form of computer. So.
And yeah, and then it, like, generated.
Yeah, it generated the whole fortress.
No. I was thinking Jor-El. Like, it generated a hologram of Jor-El.
Oh, yeah. The computer generated Jor-El.
And then they talked, and then fourth exposition.
Yeah. Same powers. And it said that he chilled there.
For 12 years.
12 years.
And learned the knowledge of 28 galaxies.
So he's 30 by now.
He is indeed 30.
Like, oh, that's a rough high school.
Oh my goodness.
Just saying.
Well, Superman does have... He is very smart. People don't think about him, but he's extremely smart.
Yeah. Yeah, they usually kind of think of him as dumb. Like, well, compared to Batman. I mean, like, people compare
I think he's smarter than Batman.
Yeah, I think he is.
But he's not as, like, clever, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think Batman can outsmart him, but, like, he could...
But, like, on raw mental faculties...
Yeah, I think he's smarter.
Okay, let me actually rephrase that. I think if he can do a math problem quicker than Batman.
Yeah.
But I think Batman can think of a better plan.
Than Superman, yeah.
Yeah,
so it's
we'll
two
go
different
with that.
kinds of smartitude.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time...
But Superman is very smart.
Yeah.
And he is very knowledgeable.
Yeah, and he knows the knowledge of 28 galaxies.
Yeah, so they did add that. Granted, he never uses it.
No. Like, what's the point? And he just flies away in his suit.
He never goes back to the Fortress of Solitude.
Nope. Just leaves.
Okay.
I'm not sure how I got food for 12 years.
Well, he's Superman. He doesn't need food. Okay.
Does he not?
I completely forgot about something. It says Jor-El. Actually, no, I didn't completely forget about it because this is when Jor-El talks about it. He says that Superman's powers comes from the red sun of Krypton.
Right.
Krypton. The red sun of Krypton. That actually, the red sun depowers Kryptonians, and that's why they don't have powers on Krypton. Because otherwise, why weren't they all Supermen?
Right.
Meanwhile, being on a yellow sun is different. Now, they kind of play this off as it being a lower gravity on Earth.
Yeah, I think they do.
And then they say it's from the star, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The yellow sun idea makes a lot of sense. Because actually, Superman, I think once in the comics, he went and chilled in the center of the sun, and he became, like, super powered. Like, even more powerful.
Right.
Because he absorbed all that radiation.
Super Saiyan Superman. Yeah.
Without the screaming.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's pretty pacifist and chill. So.
He is a very pacifist character, and that does come across in his character, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's clearly the Silver Age Superman. It's not Golden Age Superman.
No.
Which Silver Age heroes are very pacifist. Because, you know, that's when, like, Batman got his no-kill rule, because he used to kill a fool.
Oh, dear.
He used to carry guns.
Goodness.
Yeah, and then the Comics Code Authority came. So, which is why I don't care that Zack Snyder made him kill people, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
That's another discussion.
So he just chills with his dad.
Yeah, so
for
his
12
powers
years.
doesn't make any sense, really.
Yeah.
But we'll get into, like, why his flying doesn't make any sense.
It was all kind of... Like, the exposition didn't even do a good job of expositioning.
I'm still confused. So he gets his powers from the red sun, but why didn't any other Kryptonians have it?
Right, and we don't have a red sun.
Yeah, but he gets it specifically from the red sun of Krypton.
And that's galaxies away.
Yeah, it is galaxies away. Literally galaxies away. And they have to have faster than light travel for 3 years. It's not like because it only took them 3 years.
Right. So they have some light travel, but
So why they didn't colonize other planets?
why? Yeah.
You'll find that answer in the comics.
Yeah, and then finally, after all that expositioning and those 12 years, this guy's
Finally, we're done with
30.
Act 1.
Finally done with Act 1.
And then we introduced to the Daily Planet through Jimmy Olsen with his camera. Jimmy Olsen is so throwaway in this movie.
He is.
Like, he's supposed to be like Superman's best friend. They're like buddies, you know? And
Yeah, I didn't even know that because...
he once got his own comic book, actually.
Oh, really?
I don't think it was very good. I never read it.
See, that's the thing is I've only seen the movies of Superman. I think I've only seen this one. And so I didn't even know they were besties.
Yeah. Hey, at least it's not with Zack Snyder where he killed off Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, my word.
As like a throwaway character.
Why?
That's my question.
That's horrible.
Poor Jimmy Olsen hasn't been done well. Well, I think he was done well in the animated series. But then again, they did everything well.
It's true. Animated series did just...
Yeah, that's what we grew up on. Animated series.
Yeah, animated series was really
Love that. Anyway.
Yeah, 30 minutes in.
Like
get
30
to
minutes.
Our setting.
Yeah, we get
We're
to
gonna be
where
in-
are we going to be for the rest of the movie.
And we get to the character they're going to be with for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, an adult Superman.
And
And with Clark, we get introduced to Clark Kent.
Yep, Lois Lane,
Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy
I
Fallon.
almost said.
Jimmy Fallon. Okay.
And then I think his name's Mr. White, which is the editor.
I forget his first name, but it's the same one in the comics.
Yeah, it's just Mr. White.
Yeah, they just call him Mr. White.
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson is way better.
Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson's much better. So he just gets introduced, and then
He just is.
Yeah, they just kind of all
Which-
are.
I mean, they don't have to be.
And then I see the thing is that I think because Superman grew up on a farm, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But then he was 12 years in solitude.
Yes.
With his dad, who is
Okay.
Kryptonian.
Yeah.
So he shows up, and she.
He's a bumbling
He's
dork.
a bumbling fool. He's a dork.
He's kind of a
He's a
carpet.
dork.
Like, even from
He's
like...
a carpet, yeah.
Okay, so if we're going to jump back to Act 1, you know, like the bully knocks over all his stuff and he just takes it.
Yeah, he just doesn't do anything. I think that's kind of maybe his dad being like, don't use your powers for anything.
Yeah.
Like, he can stand up for himself and not use his powers.
Yeah.
And I don't think he realizes there's a difference.
Yeah, which could be, you know, a bit of character development, but Clark is always a carpet. But then again, Clark is a carpet.
Yeah.
That's part of his character, so I'm not going to get so mad, but
like, just the exchange when she shakes up this, well...
The champagne, yeah, and he's, like, struggling to get
he's
it off.
struggling to get
But
it
that's
off.
not a showing of your powers, just...
No, it's fine, but she's struggling to get it off. She shakes it and, like...
hits it on the
thing. Table and gives it to him, and he opens it, and then he goes everywhere, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. So he's like, yeah, well, I didn't think you would do that on purpose, so that you make a stranger look like a complete fool. No one talks like that.
No one talks like that. I've never once said that. Like, honestly, he's like, oh, I'm sure you didn't mean to. Yeah. Just say, you know, oh, I'm sure you didn't mean to.
No one says that. So, it was very interesting. And then it just kind of
was.
And then
I don't know, what were they celebrating with the champagne?
I don't know. Was it champagne or was it just soda?
No, it was
Then
champagne.
he asked for coffee later.
This dude having
with the sugar,
champagne.
With the sugar. Remember? He's like, I want a black coffee with 2 sugars. And then Jimmy Olsen's like, all right. And he's like, yes, Mr. White. He's like, and don't call me sugar. And then Jimmy's like, kind of doesn't know what to do. He's like, yes, Mr. White. And then Mr. White just kind of stares at him weirdly. And he's like...
Is that a reference to Airplane?
I'm not sure.
Where he's like, where this guy's like, Shirley XYZ. He's like, yes, of course. And don't call me Shirley. Airplane is a much better movie.
Was Airplane around during?
I don't know.
I don't know when Airplane came out.
Okay, you talk. I'm gonna look up.
Yeah, so after that, then Superman just kind of sits down at a desk, and then after that, the day's over, and so she walks out. Lois Lane walks out with Superman, and then he's like, "Oh, it was a really swell day," and she was just kind of like,
Okay, 2 years.
Swell? 2 years?
1980.
Oh, it came out in 1980.
So it wasn't even a reference to that. It just was weird dialogue.
It was just weird dialogue. Yeah.
Anyway.
So, and he says swell, and she says, no one says swell anymore, or whatever. I forget what exactly she said.
Yeah.
Like, they're just, and then he's
like she was just being mean.
To be honest.
Like, okay, what?
She isn't.
Okay, what's a slang from 2008?
I have no clue.
Like from when we were kids.
I don't know.
It's not like he said, well, gee willikers. Like,
yeah,
like swell.
that's,
No, we still say swell, right?
I don't know.
I am not
Sometimes
this
I
old.
say swell.
Yeah, like, it's not like it's a... My point is, like, it's an innocuous phrase. It's not like he said something like backseat bingo. That's, like, obviously
or like,
really old.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I got this one. If someone says, what are those?
Oh my word.
Mm,
Yeah.
we'll get to Black Panther one of these days.
No. I don't want to
Yes,
watch
yes.
Panther.
If you can make it through this movie, because like, dude, if it's a train wreck, at least it's good fun to watch. Like, this was just boring.
That's true.
Anyway, but yeah, that's
So,
just
and then
like
he
she's
just-
just being mean.
She is. The whole time
Like,
she's
she's a
really mean to
jerk.
Clark, but then it's like makes it seem like they're friends. Because remember at the very end, she's
Yeah.
like, oh man, I wish Clark was here. But like, why? Do
Yeah.
you even like him? Like, you just are mean to him. Treat him like a...
Yeah, her intro is like being mean to the guy we like.
Yeah. So like,
Why in the world should I like her?
don't...
And kind of like sets up a conflict with Clark, and then her motivation is set up. She wants to be a career woman. She doesn't want to like...
mention that.
Because that's a weird motivation. I am motivated to be a career woman because I don't want to have kids. Just don't. I don't know.
Yeah, like...
Like,
Okay.
I think what they were driving at is she wanted to like rise above her small town origins or something.
She has
Or was
small
that
town
a
origins.
reference to Lena Lang? Because they might... Are they sisters? I don't know.
Lena...
That would be... No, that
were
wouldn't
they
make any
cousin?
sense.
I'm not sure, honestly. But, oh yeah, Lois Lane. I thought it was Lena Lang. L-A-N-G.
No, it's Lane.
I thought it was Lang.
Lane. Oh, it is Lang.
Okay, that's what
Oh,
I
never
thought.
mind.
I've seen Smallville,
I haven't.
like one episode, and I thought it was Lena Lane this whole time, and then it was like Lane. So, I thought it was Lane. But
Okay.
she's just like a jerk or whatever. So he's just walking with Lois, and then there's just like this hand coming out of the alleyway, and he's like, psst, psst, come here. And then he pulls out a gun. He's like, come here. And then she's like, I think we should get going. This is Lois. Lois like, I think we should leave. And then Clark's just like, no, I think we should follow him. I'm like, Clark, like, what he's gonna do? Shoot you on the sidewalk?
Oh, that's funny. The actress who played Lena Lang in Superman 3 was Martha Kent in Smallville.
Oh, really?
That's interesting. I
That's
didn't know that.
cool.
Yeah, so she was Superboy's love interest from 1950.
She was Superboy's love interest.
Yes.
Interesting.
And
She's not. I mean, if she's Superman's age, I thought Superboy was younger than Superman.
wait, abilities as Superman? No,
What?
Superboy is, but like that was like a comic because it was like a thing at that time to have like, and they didn't give Superman a sidekick, but because your market was kids, you had Robin, and that's actually where Bucky comes from, was Captain America's teenage sidekick.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but Superman didn't get one, but Superboy was a thing. It's like him being a superhero as a kid, I think.
Okay, then. That's interesting.
Yeah, but she's from the Silver Age.
Alright. So, yeah, so Clark just is totally for getting mobbed. Like, not mobbed, robbed? Mugged.
Mugged. That's the word.
Mugged.
So
He's totally for it. She's like, we should just go. Like, what's he gonna do? Shoot him in broad daylight? Like,
Yeah.
they weren't even in the alley.
They weren't in the alley.
She's like, psst, get over here. Come in.
That's kind of weird.
What?
Like, why did this scene exist? Wait, let's finish the scene and then ask that question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then
So they go
just
in.
follows him in, and then this is Lois being like, I'm gonna be super tough, and so
You know, because she's a no-nonsense reporter woman.
exactly, and so he's like, give me your purse, and so she puts up, and then she drops it on the ground. So
Yeah.
he bends down, still straining with the gun, and she kicks him in the face with her heel.
Should have kicked the gun.
Yeah.
And then kicked his... Because with the gun, he's going to run, probably.
Right, if he doesn't have a weapon, then he's
Yeah, because there's 2 versus 1.
Yeah. And so she kicks him in the face with her heel, which, with a heel,
That hurts.
he was not hurt enough, I feel like. He just kind of fell backwards and then shot at them.
With a broken nose.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. Only time she really shows any agency, right?
That is the only
She
agency.
kicks him in the face, then turns around and puts her back to the...
Yeah,
him.
it's not like she ran.
No, she just, like, hides herself in the corner.
Yeah.
Like, if
Which
anything,
doesn't really give that no-nonsense reporter vibe. Kind of like a cowardly
kicks
vibe.
me. She's like, ah, no, I kicked him. Ah.
Like, why is she making fun of Clark for fainting?
I know! Because she fainted.
We'll get there.
So she fainted later on.
She does faint. So she can't make fun of Clark. And then Superman has to, like, catch the bullet.
He catched the bullet that was aimed for her, which, wow. I mean, it was aimed for, like, her. Like, that's a good... After getting kicked in the face, that's good aim. I just like to commemorate.
I mean, they're very close. Like, it was, like, 2 feet.
Yeah,
It's not like the like, where are you going to aim? It's not like...
Yeah, so he grabs the bullet.
Like, I can accept he hit her. He would have hit her.
Yeah. So he grabs the bullet, and then he just kind of, like...
Slumps over, like
slumps over in the corner. And then she's like, Clark, Clark, Clark. And she thinks he's like, oh, I must have fainted. And then she's like, oh, whatever. And then
he, like, describes the contents of her purse.
Yeah, she grabs her purse and just kind of looks at the bull and is like, heh, heh, heh. And then he just walks. He's like, why don't you just give up your purse? It only has $10, two credit cards, a hairbrush, and lipstick. She's like, how did you know that? Those are the exact contents of my purse. He's like, lucky guess.
They had credit cards in the 70s. Well, of course they did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't remember what it came out of, but I thought it was depression.
It was Prussian.
Depression. Came out of their depression.
Credit cards?
No.
They didn't have the technology.
When was it? Was it in the 60s?
No, I don't know. You're making me Google when were credit cards invented.
So he describes the exact contents of her purse.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
so that does establish
that he has X-ray vision.
1950, the Diners Club.
Okay, I was wondering. I thought it was like.
Apparently, it was because the dude who invented it forgot his wallet.
So he's like, "I owe you, fam."
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But they entered widespread acceptance in the 60s when Visa did it.
It must be what I was thinking. 60s.
Yeah. Because that was the Diners Club card, which I guess was a restaurant-only thing?
I guess so. I'm not sure. So, anyway, yeah, it just kind of showed how much of a coward... It kind of showed that Clark Kent was a coward.
Which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
But then Lois makes fun of him, and I'm just like...
Yeah, and like, girl, you're the one that kicked him in the face, and was like, oh, no! Like, if anything, you drop.
Yeah, like, if she dropped, she would have been fine, and...
Yeah, because he couldn't...
Or just give up the purse. It's $10. You can cancel your credit cards.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's a really nice color of lipstick.
Well, I've seen some pretty expensive lipstick.
Yeah. You know, but back then, I don't know. So that just
$10 might have been more.
That's true. I mean,
this is before the stagflation of the 80s.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. But that was around the time. Anyway, we're not getting into economics. We're talking about writing. So,
this is not an economics podcast.
This is not an economics podcast. I don't understand economics enough to do that. So, that scene just kind of happens. I guess it's supposed to set up. Tell me what you think the scene was supposed to set up.
I don't know.
What's the purpose of it? To show that he has X-ray vision?
I guess that's the only reason that could have happened. But again, you really are assuming comics knowledge, because otherwise you're just confused here.
Yeah. Not sure. I feel like it was just kind of like we already knew that he was a rug and a coward.
Yeah. So you're just... I mean, we already know he's bulletproof. Because... No, we don't, actually, that he's invulnerable. Well, we've had 3 rounds of exposition and know he's invulnerable.
Yeah. We better. Yeah, I'm not... That scene was just okay. And I remember it being in the not extended, so... I remember watching that when I was a kid.
Yeah, it wasn't like, added, so...
Yeah. So then after that... We get to see Otis.
Yes.
Otis. He is the henchman of Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
and
so
he's
we're...
a incompetent fool.
We're introduced to Lex Luthor through his henchman.
Mm-hmm. His henchman is going into...
So any intimidation transfers.
Right.
And Otis isn't intimidating. He's an idiot.
He's intimidated by a dog.
Yeah. And he's being followed.
Yeah, he's being followed by 2 cops. And then one cop...
the FBI, and then they like go into the
Oh, maybe.
tunnel and.
Yeah, and then he just sits in like this little alcove, and then before the train comes, he gets pulled in like it's a secret door or whatever. And it's a Lex Luthor secret hideout. And so Lex Luthor's watching him, and then the cop's like, okay, well, this is cool, let me try. So he goes over there, and he gets in the little hideaway, he can't find out how to open it. And then Lex Luthor pushes it out a little bit, so it's flush. And then just as the train comes, Lex Luthor pushes it all the way, and he just gets shoved in front of the train and dies. And that's how we're introduced to Lex Luthor.
Not a bad. I actually like this introduction.
I enjoyed, writing-wise, I enjoyed the introduction.
If Otis was competent, it actually would have been good.
Yeah, it would have been much better because Otis just... I thought that the introduction of the villain was good because it shows that he's
ruthless.
He'll just kind of kill people. Just, you could have just not opened it. Well, but then they would have come and tried to open it.
And drill it.
To kill it.
But it's kind of like a ruthless way.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't like how they showed how Otis got out. I think it would have been better if they cut that scene.
Oh, right.
And if they just had him vanish.
Yeah, it would have been more mysterious if they'd have him vanish. And suddenly, I think I would have liked it. They had him vanish, and the cop's like, oh no. So he gets in the alcove, and then it starts pushing.
Yeah.
And then he dies, and then it cuts to Lex Luthor, and what's her name?
What was Miss...
Mr. D. It was a D. But
Miss
it was...
Strigity?
Miss Starberry? I'm not sure. Anyway, Miss whatever her name was, and then if she would have just been like, oh, you're so cruel and ruthless and whatever, and that's kind of what she said. So if they
I don't get it, though, because she's on board with his evil schemes.
Right, so why does she criticize him all the time and then be on board with him? Because she helps him later.
Yeah, and he's going to be killing millions.
Right. Yeah, millions. That happens, and I feel like that was a good...
Wait, this was nominated for Best Film Editing?
Best Film Editing.
Best Music and Best Sound.
Huh.
And it received a Special Achievement Academy Award for Visual Effects, which, to be fair, was groundbreaking for the time.
Yeah, for that time it was. I'll give them that.
It was selected for preservation by the Library of Congress, and we're sitting here blasting this movie.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
That's actually funny.
Well, that's good to know. So, and then after that, we've been introduced to our villain.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, we get our introduction to our hero.
Miss Teschmacher.
Her name, I thought it was Deschmacher or something.
No, it's Teschmacher.
Teschmacher.
Eve Teschmacher.
Okay, Miss Tesh.
Disturbed by his cruelty. No, she's really...
Like, kind of, but also...
Her character's all over the place.
Yeah, it's not a very good character. She's inconsistent. She has no values.
Yeah.
No convictions. So we get introduced to our villain, and then we get introduced to our hero by the way of Lois Lane.
Yeah, which is a fine, except there's no causality.
Explain the scene.
Okay. So, she goes up and she has to go to where Air Force One is to report on it. Because, granted, I thought there was that the way it worked was that there was a designated reporter for White House correspondence or something. Because you always see, the same reporters in, the war room or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that she's, doing multiple things. But maybe she got transferred. Because Clark Kent took her, city thing.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe. Anyway, I don't know. They didn't communicate it well if that was a thing. But it doesn't matter. So she then goes onto the helicopter, and the helicopter starts crashing.
Yeah, well, it got,
caught in some wires.
Yeah.
Then it swings
and
around.
And then it just goes crazy.
I don't know why they didn't just cut the engine.
Yeah, just...
Because, it would have damaged things, and you would have gotten shaken up, but you wouldn't have died.
Yeah. Just cut the engine?
Isn't that... Okay, I don't know anything about the helicopter, so it could be. So she's hanging out, and she's screaming her head off.
Yeah, the helicopter's, tilted over the side of the building, and she's just screaming. While she's trying to... when you scream, you cannot breathe.
Yeah.
You start to get dizzy.
I'd be dizzy just from being up there.
Yeah, so she makes it worse, and she's screaming and trying to crawl over the pilot and grab stuff, and then she grabs the radio coil,
yeah.
And surprisingly, it doesn't help her. It just breaks. And then she kind of falls into outside.
And she's like hanging on to something?
Something. Some seatbelt or something, maybe? I'm not
I think
really
it was a seatbelt, yeah. Because I thought it was a scarf at first, but no, I think it's a seatbelt.
I think it was some sort of cloth. So she's hanging there, and then it's so funny. Her hat falls on the ground. And
there's like these crowd of gawkers.
Everyone's looking and look
Which
at
I
that.
mean, I gawk too.
And Clark Kent just walks
He's
out.
like, derp, derp,
He is
derp,
so
derp,
oblivious.
derp, derp, derp,
He
derp.
just walks around.
Like,
and
why didn't he hear her? Why didn't you like?
Up,
Why didn't they show him in the office working and he like stops right as she's screaming?
He can hear. And
he
she's
has super
screaming.
hearing.
And so he picks up her hat. And then he's like, huh? And he looks around. And then a guy beside him taps him on the shoulder and points up. He's like, oh, God.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. And then he walks. He's like, oh, no, I got to find a place to change. What do I do? What do I do?
A telephone.
And then he looks at the telephone booth and then just kind of like, And then it goes to like the revolving doors and his clothes.
Does super speed.
Just randomly disappears.
I don't know. And then some dude talked to him.
Yeah.
I guess that was kind of weird. What did he say? Something stupid.
Yeah, he said something. And then he just kind of flew up and saved Lois as she was falling.
Yeah.
He's like, I got you. And then he grabs her and then he grabs the helicopter and brings them up. And then, what did he say? Oh, he said, don't worry about it. Flying is still the safe way to travel or something. I don't know if it was...
Yeah. Okay.
He's just a dork.
Yeah.
Then he's just like, who are you? She's like, who are you? He's like, a friend. He's like, bye now.
And he leaves. And he kind of just goes on like a flurry of superhero activity.
Yeah, just suddenly.
Except none of it seems interesting.
No, like...
Because we don't feel at risk, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's gonna...
Yeah, like he stops a criminal that's climbing up the side of a building.
Yeah, it's just like whatever.
He stops some criminals that boat away, which I think that was kind of funny.
And then he takes the boat.
And he puts it
in the middle of the street.
And like the original cop...
Yes.
Is being like, oh yeah, I saw this dude with like these boots and the underwear and the outside or whatever, and the guy's like, dude, you've been drinking or whatever. And then he puts the boat down and he's like, okay, he drinks on me.
Yeah, that was kind of funny how they connected that.
Yeah, it's kind of got like that 70s humor,
yeah.
But it's kind of funny.
It was kind of funny. He just flies away and then...
Like,
oh yes, Air Force One.
Yes.
I think I wrote down...
No, did he save the cat and then do Air Force One?
Oh, I think he did. So we went and saved...
And then the mom hit the...
So he saves the cat. And
then the girl is all like, I saw Superman or whatever.
I saw this guy and he flew and saved the cat. And then you hear this slap and she's like, quit lying or something like that. I'm like, oh my word.
Maybe it's like a 70s thing, but I don't know, man. Growing up, I never got slapped if I like invented this tall tale.
Yeah, of someone flying to save the cat.
And she's like 9. Like, okay, so if a kid's 13 and he's being an idiot, maybe you should give him a patch, but...
Don't think so. I think you just need to be...
Like, I'm trying to make it work.
No, I think her mom's just abusive for no reason.
Like, it's not even like she backtalked him.
No, she didn't. She just came in and
so if she backtalked her...
Yeah, I can understand
I'd understand that. Kids these days do need to be slapped more for backtalking, if you ask me, but... She wasn't even being, like, sassy or rude or anything.
She just said, Mom, this guy came and flew and saved the cat. Like, quit lying!
What?
What?
That's unnecessary.
It was really weird and unnecessary. I caught that the first time I watched it.
What, we were how old?
Let's see if I can find... Oh, it was...
Okay.
Nope, that's okay. I don't know what.
Yeah. I did think the line when Lois was being caught by Superman, she's like, I got you, and then she's like, you've got me, who's got who?
Who's got you?
I thought that was
I thought that was really funny.
That was a funny line.
Kind of
like,
who's got you?
I actually, this is sacrilege, but I would have taken out the joke with those random dudes, and the joke with the, just all the jokes from that, until that, and that would have cut the tension.
What jokes?
All
the random dudes on the ground?
Yeah. Okay. So where Clark's like woo, 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 points up, or where he's like, no, not the phone booth, and there's like those two gawkers that saw him go through.
Yeah.
And made some stupid comment.
Yeah, that's true. Those were all kind of breaking the tension, and then
that would have
broken the tension.
Yeah, and then cut it like a knife.
But the thing is that it broke the tension, and then after that he went and did heroic things that had no tension because it was already broke.
Yeah.
So. Like, I can understand that kind of instigated, but then I was just kind of bored.
Yeah.
It's like, this is kind
He's
of
just
funny.
doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of funny how he like got hit by the crowbar and he's like vibrations.
Yeah. That was.
That was
I always thought that was hilarious. When
That
I
was
watched it.
okay. Yeah.
I
that
was just,
kinda
oh,
funny,
he got
yeah.
hit by a crowbar. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
So, and then he saves Air Force One.
Yeah.
And then.
Which, yeah, you gotta save the airplane.
Yeah, you gotta save the airplane.
Again, none of this is. Here's the thing: we're bored because this is just happening.
Yeah.
Like it's and then. None of it's because.
Right.
You know, because we can see, Clark, because we could do it like this, but it's not communicated in the movie. Clark comes, right? Therefore, Lois Lane gets shunted into Washington, D.C. duty. Therefore, she goes to meet Air Force One. Therefore, has that problem. So I could put a becauses for those. And then it's, and then.
Right. Then this happens, then this happens. But why? Like, it's accidents.
Yeah,
Or
it just
just
is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more interested in I'm actually interested in the helicopter if they kept the tension better.
Yeah, they kind of dropped it. Like, she was still in danger.
He kind of just
and
puts
then
her
they
there.
dropped the tension.
Yeah, with all these jokes, like, she's gonna die.
Like, yeah.
Superman's like gonna walk out and then.
Yeah! Oh my word, that'd be Oh no, I totally don't have super hearing, and I didn't hear her screaming her head off, because she was. That's all she does.
It's like a Robot Chicken sketch where Jimmy Olsen is like, see, Superman will save me, and jumps out a window to prove it, but then forgets he has the watch.
Oh my word.
Yeah, so it's literally like a Robot Chicken sketch almost.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And then the watch ends up in a gorilla, and it gets alerted. So Superman's like, oh no, Jimmy Olsen, you're in the gorilla. Then rips the gorilla in half. So this other guy who got Jimmy Olsen's job, like, takes a picture and gets his store. And he's like, look, Mr. Kent, I got my first picture was on the front page. Superman kills innocent gorilla. It was hilarious. And Clark Kent is like steaming there.
Of course.
Ugh.
Oh my word.
Love Robot Chicken.
Goodness. Yeah, so that just was kind of it was just kind of him being like.
And then what happened?
And then after that, he went to talk to his dad.
Yeah, so he went to talk to Jor-El.
And his dad's like, look, I know that it's hard to resist being good and helping people. And Superman's like, yeah, it felt really great. I enjoyed helping people. And
it's like he just slept with a girl, and his dad's like trying to be like, okay, but keep it in your pants, my dude. Like, that's kind of how it felt, right?
I guess so.
Kind of like it's a bad thing, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that he's helping people, and he's like, but it felt good. Like, it's something that only feels pleasurable, and you're only doing it because of the pleasure. Like,
right,
oh yeah, I bet that ice cream
moral.
you ate was very yummy, but you shouldn't have eaten it.
Right.
Yeah, it was very yummy.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, why wouldn't you? Why is it bad to help people?
Don't interfere in their history.
But like,
it didn't help. I could barely hear the dialogue.
Yeah, because he had like this resounding voice, and it just kind of
the dialogue. We had it. Maybe it's just my TV. No, it's not, because we'll like watch movies where it's at like 20 or 30.
Tomorrow and it was fine.
Yeah, and we had it at like 40 or something, I think. And this we had at 100, and it was quiet. And Edge of Tomorrow was a little loud, actually.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow was a little loud.
So at least the audio was consistently quiet.
It was consistently quiet, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's better than having like a bunch of spikes, which I sincerely hope we aren't having.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, just glancing at the sound every once in a while. No spikes.
So,
Yeah, so he talks to his dad, and that's just boring. I'm bored.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
So
does he go to Lex?
After that, it goes to Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he's reacting to it.
He was reacting to it, and he was just like basically.
He was chewing up the scenery. It was great.
He was chewing. What?
Chewing the scenery.
What does that mean?
No, he was like really acting. Like Gene Hackman knows how to act.
Oh yes, he was involved. Yeah, he just kind of he was good. But
yeah, I liked him.
The whole point of that scene was basically him saying he's against whatever value Superman has.
Yeah, and we establish his values. Real estate. He wants money. Why? I don't know.
And we're ignoring the fact that he hides in this...
And that he has an abusive father too.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, they could have done a bit more with him wanting to prove himself to his father.
Maybe, because he's like, you know what my dad said?
Get out.
When I was 6 years old, and she said, get out. She's like, before that.
Yeah, that's a throwaway line, and they could have done more with that. Granted, I don't think that's in the comics origin. I mean, okay, I don't mind like that he's motivated just by money, but it's just not a good conflict. Like it's not strong.
It doesn't really. And the thing is that he buys real estate in these terrible deserts all along the San Andreas Fault, and then he thinks he can keep them after he sends some
like
nukes.
They're owned by LexCorp.
Yeah.
Right, they're owned by LexCorp.
And he's hiding by the, what do they call it?
And it's named after Lex. Yeah, and he's hiding from the law, and the law knows he exists.
So why haven't they seized his assets?
I don't know, but that's like a story why Lois, because maybe he hasn't even bought it yet, or at least he's in the act.
He did buy it.
No, well, he bought some of it because remember the Indian chief was like that Lois was talking to at the end. Mm-hmm. So he was buying, but I don't know. It's just a weird real estate.
I think the whole point of the thing, which is fine, is just showing that he was against the values of Superman. Like it didn't completely follow his values, but he was just saying he was against Superman's
He's
values.
greedy and selfish, and Superman's selfless.
Yeah.
And then he does the whole brains versus brawn, so he just comes out and says it when you're not really supposed to say it.
Brains versus brawn?
You know, Superman is the brawn, he's the brains.
Yeah, I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah, well, okay. Trust me.
Okay.
Trust me on this. He does say that. Anyway, it was kind of weird and awkward. He kind of just said it, you know.
Yeah,
he didn't emphasize it.
It's fantastic.
Oh, then Otis is an idiot. It's not funny. It's like I'm watching Home Alone.
Yeah, see, I've never seen that because I knew it was stupid. So.
Yeah, we just made people mad. Sorry. Granted, we've been ripping into like a classic movie, so.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah.
But yeah, so his motivation is better than Batman versus Superman. I'll say that. So his motivation is clear. He wants money, and he's going to do that through real estate.
Yeah, which I mean, based.
I like real estate as much as the next guy.
I'm game for real estate. Now, I wouldn't nuke something for real estate.
I would.
You would?
Like, if it's some good real... Like, how good real estate are we talking?
We're talking the desert, where you could... I mean, like, San Francisco level is what he's thinking.
Yeah, he's going to turn it into Otisville or Otisburg.
Otisville. Otisburg.
I thought that was hilarious.
That was... And he's like, oh, no, I'll take it off.
No, when we get there.
So, I thought that scene was fine. But then you have the whole interview with Lois.
Okay. And that was kind of dirty. Like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Like,
she wasn't very modest at all. Like.
No, none of the women's outfits were very modest.
No, maybe that's just like that doesn't go against the writing, but you know, I'm an Orthodox Jew, so I kind of went, I don't want to see that. I don't have to see that.
Yeah.
But her dress looked just weird. It looked like a nightgown. And she was expecting Clark Kent to be there.
Right, she was going to go on a date.
Yeah, a friend.
With Clark Kent.
Well, no, she thought it was Superman because who am I? A friend. And a friend is expecting.
But is that what the whole thing was?
Yeah, because he said, I'm a friend, and then she wrote, and then it was signed a friend, so she thought it was Superman.
But then he did show up.
Yeah, he did show up.
But then Clark Kent also showed up.
Yeah, so she I don't know, mixed it up. Maybe she mentioned it in her article.
I'm not...
I don't know. I don't need to. I don't want to write for this movie.
I don't know. It was really weird.
If you have to write for the movie, it's not a good movie.
Yeah, it was really weird how Clark Kent had showed up. I was confused about that.
I guess. Well, I don't know. Or she thought Clark Kent would show up because she went out with him.
Yeah, so she was expecting it. Maybe he asked her out later, and we didn't.
You're writing for the movie. You're writing for the movie. Okay. But she expected Superman because she was out on her porch.
Yeah.
And I just gotta say, this apartment on a reporter's salary.
Oh my goodness.
That is a big balcony.
It is. All those plants when she's super busy, she keeps them alive.
Maybe Metropolis has better property prices. No, that doesn't make any sense because there's nothing above her, so she's on the top floor.
Right. She's penthouse.
She's got a penthouse apartment on a reporter's salary, dude. Why isn't Lex Luthor investing in Metropolis real estate?
Metropolis real estate. Because he does make a thing. He talks to the girl, Miss...
About Miss...
Peschmacher.
Yeah.
I wrote it down because I never
about
forget.
the basics of real estate. Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, but then he's also like, how many of you guys would love to be on, I forget what street it was. It's like, how much do they pay for being on such and such street? And you get to be on it. She's like,
Canal?
I'm 200 feet under the ground! Under that street or whatever.
Yeah, Canal Street or whatever.
Yeah.
Felt like New York, which...
Yeah.
Which actually, did you know Metropolis, by the way, has an actual location? It's in Delaware. And... No, it's in New Jersey.
Oh.
And Gotham is in Delaware.
Oh, I think I remember seeing that. And then, like...
There's a map. And it is... People, like, got on Batman vs. Superman for doing this, but no, it's from the comics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen that. So they have this really weird interview.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Yeah, she's like, how much do you weigh? How old are you? He's like, over 21.
Are you married? Yeah.
Are you married? And, okay, let me find what... He said, do you have a girlfriend? And he's like...
You will be the first to know.
No, but if I did, you'd be the first to know about it.
No, Metropolis is in Delaware. Gotham is in southern New Jersey.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you this map.
Oh.
I know you guys can't see it, but
Yeah.
trust me, it's you can Google Metropolis, Gotham City. So
that was really weird. How
yeah,
said,
Batman's from New Jersey.
Ooh, that makes sense.
Oh no. Anyway.
So back to the interview.
Yeah, and then okay, so he mentions that he, the laser vision, or not the laser vision isn't in it, even when it could have been very useful.
Yeah.
And it is an established power with pre-crisis Superman has laser vision, or heat vision actually.
Yeah.
Because there's like a thing how his glasses are made from a Kryptonian like panes from his ship, because otherwise they'd melt. Just from the latent heat vision, which makes...
Oh, but what about his frames?
I don't know. They just did the lens... Look, it's comic book logic.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, they, like, made up one part, and then they just didn't make up the other
Yeah.
part. That's fair.
Yeah, so anyway, she's like, what color underwear am I wearing?
Yeah, even as a child, I thought that was really weird.
And now as an adult, I'm like, he's seeing her with nothing on. That's weird.
Yeah, that's...
Like, that doesn't even sound like he's supposed to be a Boy Scout and honorable person. Like, wouldn't he have been like you that, like, I don't know, I'll pass, thanks?
Yeah, be like, I'm
not going to look at your underwear.
Yeah, what in the world? And then they set up the fact that his weakness, he can't see through the potted plant.
With the lead, which is fine. That's subtle enough.
And she walks away, and then he's like, pink.
And then she goes behind it.
Pink. And then she goes back behind the potted plant.
She's got other underwear on her, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't feel like talking about Lois Lane, who is 19 to 20.
Yeah, 19 to 20, and how old is he? 30?
A 30-year-old creeping on a 20-year-old's underpants? She doesn't look 20.
No, she doesn't. She looks kind of old.
I don't know what he sees in her. She's a jerk. She's not very attractive.
No, she's just
I don't know. Hey, DC animated Lois Lane for me.
What?
The animated series. Superman the animated series. Lois Lane for me.
I don't think I've seen Superman the animated series.
I've seen it. I've seen yeah. But anyway, point is, it's just really weird.
Really weird.
But it does a fine job of setting up his the weakness.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
His weakness, but also why in the world would you tell her that and have it published?
Yeah. Okay.
That was stupid.
That was stupid of him.
Stupid.
But Superman kind of has that kind of stupidity in a way, if you know what I mean.
He does believe.
Like if Batman was like, yeah.
He does believe people are good.
Inherently good. Yeah. Like if Batman did something, I'd be like, that's out of character. But I'll give it a pass for Superman. Sets up the weakness fine. I think that's decent writing right there.
Yeah.
I mean, if honestly, the whole thing needed better dialogue.
It was so cringe.
And then he
this awkward flirting. Like she asked him another question, and she looked up. She's like, "Do you like pink?"
He's like, "I like pink."
Yeah. He's like, "I do like pink." And I'm like, okay. So underwear was pink.
Dude, and I thought me flirting with my wife when we were dating was awkward.
Yeah, that was just really weird.
I don't think I've ever written love poetry that bad, and I've written some bad love poetry.
Uh-huh. So after that...
He takes her flying.
Which, yeah, you can just talk about the flying.
Okay, flying. Okay, so when it comes to flying, people like to science it. There's no nonsense. He can fly, but he can fly. The problem, what they did is they did it so he can transfer his flying to someone else, and you can see this because they're literally fingertip to fingertip. They're like holding each other, and her access of shifting, if you know what I mean, her center of balance, should be his arm if he's holding her. And she shouldn't be able to hold herself up because it's all on that arm. Yeah. So she should be hanging on to Superman's arm. Yeah. Because then the momentum would keep her, and that'd be fine. Yeah. So it's clear she's holding herself up and flying herself also, which, I mean, they use wires, but whatever. But they could have, like, raised the wires up and down. They could have done a little bit better job with that.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. And then she just started having this voiceover about how she really likes it.
No, yeah. So her center of balance was clearly herself. So anyway, that kind of breaks it because then anyone can fly if they're touching Superman. That sets up that rule. Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, they never did a voiceover any other time.
No, it's just random voiceover about
she's how like, much can you hear my thoughts?
Yeah, he drops her off. He's like, you okay? She's like, yeah. He's like, all right. Bye now.
See ya.
It's so dorky.
And then Clark Kent goes up. He's like, and then he's like getting ready to tell her. He's like, "Oh yeah, I was really nervous about this date." I'm like,
yeah.
Why would you tell her though?
Yeah.
Because she blabbed everything. She blabbed his weakness onto the papers.
She is a blabbermouth.
Like
she's arrogant. She's pathetic. And
we're gonna get to the characters later.
Okay.
We'll get to the characters. I don't like Lois Lane. She's.
And then
I like Superman though, even though he's a nerd. I kind of like.
He's a nerd and he's just really dorky. It's so cute.
I feel like I wish they should have made Superman more cool and.
They should have made him a little cooler, but I mean he's kind of cute.
Maybe that's how people were in the 70s. Were people just all dorky in the 70s?
I don't know. I wasn't alive.
Ask our parents if they were dorky.
You know, I don't think they would appreciate that.
Hey, Mom, were you dorky in the 70s? So anyway, it was a dorky time.
It was a dorky time. Tis true.
Yeah.
So then after Clark basically just upstages himself with the whole Superman thing.
Yeah.
Then we move on to Lex Luthor figuring out what the weakness of Superman is.
And that kind of comes out of left field. Again, as I said, you have to know the comics. Otherwise, Kryptonite makes no sense. It doesn't follow. So why? So he gets his power from the Kryptonite sun. Therefore, Krypton itself... I did it.
Yeah, you did.
Krypton itself is his weakness, but the Krypton sun is his power. It doesn't follow.
No. So then, and he's like, oh, galaxies away, the meteorite would have...
Therefore, it would have came here. So it was propelled faster than light?
Yeah? It made no sense. He's like, oh, I found this green rock, and this must be it, because it arrived around the same time that it was destroyed. Because that's a thing.
Okay, I mean, I guess that would make sense because, like, maybe it, like, came around. No, that doesn't make any sense because, like, the ship wasn't propelled by the explosion.
So, like, he just kind of, and then he also just knows it'll hurt him, and he's like, deductive reasoning is the game.
Well, you can't just say deductive reasoning and come
up with a.
That doesn't make any sense.
Plan.
He does. Why didn't they just have him steal it and then do some tests on it? And he'd be like, oh, it's got a bunch of harmless radiation. I bet you it's got some extra radiation coming off of it that's harmless to humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird. So that was...
Okay, but it sets that up, and then it sets up his evil plan as the two nukes.
Oh, yeah, it does set up...
But what about the time with the two boats? It's nothing like the time with the two boats. It's the two nukes.
Sets up the two nukes, but the thing is that, like, if he nukes, where like he has to nuke it on the San Andreas Fault, and that's
real where
estate
it goes
is, like, right there. Yeah. So he nukes it, and then you have fallout. Yeah. And then his properties are useless for however long the half-life is.
Well, I don't think it goes the entire length, and maybe he specifically did it at a time when the wind is blowing out, so it only affects that little area.
Still.
Or the writers didn't think about it.
Yeah, the whole nuke thing was just weird. They just get missiles.
Okay, as a child, I legitimately thought California would fall into the water because of this movie.
No, it's legit. Yeah.
I was a dumb kid.
No, you just...
Yeah, so that's his plan. And honestly, I think and then, it goes through his plan. And I was interested in that. I thought it was kind of creative,
Yeah.
Like, he has the car that wrecks, and then there's the woman, and
Oh yeah, how to get
The sergeant was such a creeper.
So
you have to do mouth to mouth and like do chest compressions.
He said chest massages. He didn't even say compressions.
He's feeling the poor woman up.
Yeah, and then like so she's
and mouth to mouth.
Okay.
And he's like, okay. And he's like, I would step aside, soldier. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't tell my men to do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah, like this woman's like barely breathing on the ground. And he's like, I'm gonna feel her up and kiss her.
It's not the time for jokes.
No,
like
it's really
honestly,
not.
this is the evil plot going on.
Right. So they're changing the missiles and everything and all that.
Like I don't mind that Lex Luthor kind of made kind of like a little half quip because he's in control. It shows that he's in control of the situation.
Right, yeah.
So I don't mind that. And then Otis changed it and
I'm still unsure if he changed it to wrong or right.
Yeah, I'm still confused. Did he plan for New Jersey to get hit too? Why did he need 2 nukes if one would have worked?
Right. Was he just...
Was one a backup? If Otis messed it up, why did he send Otis in the first place if he knew that would be bad? Also, why didn't Otis be like, wait, there's 4 and I didn't put a 4 there or whatever?
Yeah, there were like 4 coordinates. I'm pretty sure there's only latitude and longitude.
Maybe it's like how you have like minutes and seconds with the coordinates. You have degrees and minutes.
Maybe so.
Maybe it's like that, so that's the degrees and that's the minutes.
Yeah, but Otis put it in wrong, but then it still went to New Jersey where...
Granted, I kind of want to like test those coordinates.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it, and I'm not going to do that.
You know, I think it was 68, 38, and 117.
Yeah.
Well, then it was 11 in the 7.
It's supposed to be 11-17. Or 11-7.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just kind of...
Weird.
Kind of weird, because I was never clear if he actually messed it up, because it
wasn't a place. Lex is like 200 IQ.
Right, so he would have...
So surely he would have known that Otis is an idiot and would have messed it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so then he does the second nuke, and it's interesting how he has like another truck that's like a wide load, and he's like playing like a hick and acting like an idiot, and then the woman changes it. Yeah. I thought that was fine.
Yeah, I thought there's plans to like change it was fine.
Yeah, and I like the second one better.
Yeah, I did
because
like the second one better.
He seemed like the jokes were he was making the jokes because he was like showing that he's in control.
Yeah.
And with the other one, like the soldier's making the jokes, but yeah, so it kind of like dealt with the tension. I thought those scenes were fine overall.
Yeah, I thought they were fine. A little weird, but fine.
The first one was weird. The second one was fine.
Yeah, the first one was weird.
And then he raids Addis Ababa off camera.
What?
That's where the stone was in Ethiopia.
Oh yeah, he just raised them and then just has it.
It's a throwaway line.
Yeah.
Can we see that, please? Actually, it probably would have bogged it down. Actually.
Yeah.
Can we not see that, please?
Yeah, I mean that was fine that we didn't see it.
Yeah. The third act was a lot. Honestly, I think it was much better than the first and the second one.
Yeah, the third was much more exciting. Things were going on.
Things were happening. It wasn't so boring. Yeah. So and then, what happened is actually this is a good because I liked this part a lot actually. So because Lex is doing his evil scheme, Lois is out investigating.
Right. Yeah, I did enjoy that. She's investigating. In California because he's buying up all
and
this
it gives
stuff.
a good reason she's in California when the evil plot's happening.
Yeah, and then also Jimmy Olsen's just randomly at the Hoover
Well, yeah, to take pictures for like...
But of the dam.
Actually, yeah, why is it at the Hoover Dam? Well, you gotta have the landmarks get destroyed, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But so it did set up that there's a reason for them to be there.
Yeah.
That was good.
Okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Nukes goes off. Oh, wait, Superman comes.
Oh, yeah. So he does the whole...
With the dog whistle thing, which I liked.
Yeah,
I thought that was creative.
I thought that was 200 IQ worth.
Yeah.
Except how does he know that he can...
The interview.
I guess so.
Well, it just makes sense that he knows he has super hearing from the interview. Because
Yeah.
Lois knows that he has super hearing, and she blabbed.
She's a blabbermouth. So yeah, he basically just...
Why would he interview?
I don't know, except he just likes Lois.
Yeah, but I wouldn't interview if I were him.
No. It's a blabber.
It's not like he likes the attention. Like, he's
No.
not an attention seeker.
No. I'm not really sure why he got interviewed. Except he just wanted to fly with her.
Yeah. I love this one, like, little comic or funny thing I saw where all the villains, or this one villain's like, guys, I discovered Superman's secret identity. It's Clark Kent. They're like, yeah, we all know. But while he's Clark Kent, he's not out stopping us. What, do you think he's less invincible in his pajamas?
It's true. Like, it's not even like it's Batman where he doesn't have his gadgets when he's
yeah.
or whatever. Or whatever. Yeah, he's still invincible and he can still do everything.
Anyway, but...
So yeah, he baits Superman, and then Superman just kind of like flies around the city.
And then he destroys the sidewalk. Why didn't he go through a manhole?
A hole. Yeah, I always
Dude,
thought
someone's
he
gonna fall.
and die. Like, it's pretty deep that he goes. Like, 200 feet.
Yeah. Someone's gonna fall and break their neck.
Yeah. And then, like, you have the cameras, and so he's... What was the first one? Oh, bullets.
It was bullets.
He shot all these bullets, and
he knows that he is bulletproof.
Yeah, he knows he's bulletproof, and yet he shoots them all. And then there's
With
the camera.
Fire.
He has one camera that's
yeah,
just
and it's doing multiple
staring,
angles.
and it does multiple angles. Like, it shows the barrel
gun's firing.
of the gun.
But you're watching. You don't need to know that.
Yeah, it's not. So that was weird. And
then does fire, and the woman's like, ah. Oh yeah, she's like, what do you see? She's like, dimples.
Yeah, she's like, oh, he's cute. He has dimples. He's like, I'll show you dimples. And then
does the bullets, which was a little funny.
Kind of was. And then
the
fire, and then...
Was that it? I wonder if that was an extended scene, because it added nothing.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Maybe it was extended.
And then the ice. Speaking of a time when heat vision would have been very useful.
Yeah, he just like kind of sat there, let himself get frozen, and then got out.
Just walked out, yeah.
Yeah. So then he just went to the door, smashed it open.
He's like, door's open.
Yeah, he's like, door's open, come in, or whatever.
Just take the gentleman's clothes, which I do like that because it kind of showed he was in control.
It did. I thought it was really good.
Lex Luthor has some great dialogue in this.
He does, and I don't know if it's the actor or they just wrote.
Oh, Gene Hackman's a good actor.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder if he changed it or what.
You know, because actors will do that. Like I think Harrison Ford rewrote a bunch of Star Wars' dialogue.
Probably.
No, and George Lucas, someone had to rewrite it.
Honestly.
It's like, George, people don't talk like this.
Like, please.
I don't like sand.
No, stop.
It's coarse and rough and it's irritating. And it gets everywhere. Not like here where everything's soft. And you can't see this, but I went to stroke her hand and she jerked it back.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I don't blame her. It's creepy.
Very
weirdo.
Creepy.
Oh, but he's in the Temple of Space Monks. I don't care. It's bad dialogue.
Yeah, it is.
Like, an excuse for bad writing is still bad writing.
So they have that whole dialogue thing, the whole back and forth.
Which is good. I liked it.
I thought that was good.
And I liked it how he set up. Oh, this is why he had to have two going apart, because he probably was going to send one into, like, the ocean or something. So that Superman couldn't get them both. So once he learned about Superman, he had to have them both so he could say that you can't get both of them. You need the remote.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then also the reason he explained his evil plan. Because
I do like that because he wants him to stop it.
Yeah.
So usually they explain the evil plan is bad, but this is good.
Yeah.
Honestly, besides Otis, I like 90% of the things with Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Otis just drags it down.
Yeah, he drags it down, but it was actually a good
But actually, yeah, they had some real reasons why he was doing things that made him.
And I feel like people like imitated it without realizing the reasons. Yeah,
that's true. They just did it because he did it, but they didn't know why he did it.
People do that a lot with writing.
Yeah, they do.
They're like, "Oh, we'll do this, but why?"
Yeah, like there's a reason they did this.
Why?
So they did, and then he's like, and he just kind of like sits on the chest, and he's like, but you need the remote to stop them because you can't get them both. And then Superman just kind of drops
scanning
him.
alone.
He scans, and then he turns at him, and he picks him up. He's like, you think I'm a fool? You think you can hide the remote in a metal or a lead box? And he throws him on the couch. He's like, and he just heroically flips it open. And then he just
it is kryptonite.
Drained.
I love that so much. It's a sucker trick. Like, it's something clever people do. When a person thinks they outsmarted you, they stop thinking. Yeah. And it's like the old... was this in iCarly? The whole spell fort, say fort, a bunch of times? You know that?
I have no clue. I've never seen iCarly.
I don't know. I think I got it from an iCarly comic. Like, or not a comic, but like a meme, that was showing like screenshots of it.
Maybe so.
I've never watched iCarly. Okay, so it's like, with the sucker trick, the guy thinks you're going to say fork or wants you to say fort instead of fork, and really want to say fork instead of spoon. But yeah, you can get people with that, though.
Yeah, you get it. And that
Anyway.
really worked for Superman because he thought that he got him, and then he opened the case, and then, oh no, it's kryptonite, which I guess, did he know was his weakness?
What, lead?
No, kryptonite.
Yeah, or...
Did he realize?
Actually, I don't know.
I'm not
It's
sure.
never established with
And he was
Superman.
just like, oh, no.
Because he could have said, oh, Superman, I'll give it to you if you try on this jewelry. And...
Right, yeah. Try on this jewelry and I'll give it to you.
But then again, okay, but he would have walked in and gotten weak and known something was up.
I guess lead stops him from getting...
Yeah, lead stops with the kryptonite.
Kind of weird, but okay.
No, that's used in the next movie, actually.
Oh, really?
Because he, like, depowers, like, Zod and all his minions or something. Spoilers, but whatever.
Oh dear. Oh, dear.
It's kind
Yeah,
of...
this
Okay,
thing is so
it's a little bit
full of
stupid.
spoilers. So, yeah, and then he just walks through and does villain...
Basic villain speech. It's
villain
serviceable.
speech. Yeah, it was just
whatever.
fine. And then he...
Throws him in the pool, which is a pretty cool pool.
Honestly, that was the coolest pool. I legit thought that was the coolest pool. And then he just kind of says, alright, now I'm going to go watch my nukes do stuff. So he just leaves. And then he's just, like, Superman's just kind of drowning.
Yeah, he's kind of not. He kind of... Like, he was in there a bit too long for it to be his death.
Yeah.
Okay, because, like, in the comics, like, with the Batman thing where Superman dresses up as Batman, he gets kryptonite, he's just out. Like, he's there in, like, almost like a coma until Batman saves him.
Oh, wow.
Because, like, Batman's a Superman, which is funny because Lois is like, oh, I don't think you're Superman, so I'm going to, like, cut some of your hair. So he, like, figures it out. So he pre-broke the scissor blades and glued them so when she tries to cut, it breaks the scissor blades.
What in the world?
First crossover between Batman and Superman.
Well, serviceable, I suppose.
It was, it's kind of, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's a comic book. What do you expect? Like,
That's true.
There's some very good comic books, but it's an all right comic book.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then he goes and watches stuff, and then Miss, what's her name? Miss Teschmacher's like, oh, no.
He's
yeah.
cute. I'm going to...
No,
my mother's in New Jersey.
Yeah, he's like, I even know where I sent the other one. New Jersey, or whatever.
Hackensack, New Jersey.
Hackensack, New Jersey. And she's like, Lex, my mother lives in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Yeah, and he does something like did, which was kind of funny.
He says something and just walks away. And then so she's like, I guess I gotta save him. And then she's like, I won't save you unless you go save my mother first.
I mean, that's true to her motivations.
Fair
Like, she's
enough.
selfish.
Yeah, she is selfish.
Like, she doesn't break character to save him.
No, she doesn't. She wants to save her mother, which is fine.
And she doesn't give a care about the other people.
No. So she dives in her Marilyn Monroe dress.
I didn't need to see that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then she grabs him. She pulls him over.
And then sexually assaults him.
Like, she's about to bring it up, and then she's like... And then she kisses him. Like, this guy's like... I guess supposed to be unconscious. His eyes are closed or whatever.
He's kind of like... he's
kind of like, oh, I'm just really, really tired or whatever. She kisses him, and then she takes it off. And he's like, why did you kiss me? She's like, because I didn't think you'd let me do it afterwards.
Fair, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't either. Like... And so then he just kind of looks at her and he's like, stand back. I need to go. So
and then he does, true to his character, he does save New Jersey first.
He does. Well, he causes some property damage first.
Yes.
Another hole.
Another, like, I would have given back all the sins of a car I got. No,
No.
those I'm sorry, but whenever Jeremy says that instead of a sense, it never makes the movie better. It would always make it worse.
Yeah. So then he goes, he saves the New Jersey one.
Yeah. Which, here's the problem. At the end of the movie, it's established that he can go around the world, that's like 25,000 miles, in like a second. He could have saved both. He could have done both.
Right. He could have done both.
Just don't make him that fast. And it's fine.
Well, but then you can't do the whole...
We'll get to the time travel.
So he saves New Jersey, and then he, like... At this point, the music was really good. And it just kind of...
Because it's an epic feeling, and John Williams does epic.
Yeah, he does
better than anyone else.
Really well. And then you just see it explode, and then you're just like, oh no. It's probably the tensest and the most tragic.
Yeah, as I said, I unequivocally, the section between when, Lex does the dog with... Actually, I'll go earlier, and I say I don't mind the dialogue between Lois Lane and the Chief. Like, between that section and when Lois dies, I like every part of that, actually.
Yeah.
There's not a part...
That's pretty good. I think every scene served its purpose.
Yeah. Every scene served its... Okay, except... I'll give an exception. The dimples bullets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
but I think that was extended.
Yeah, that was probably just added. Like, you take out that scene and it's fine. Like, the writing's good. It follows. Everything follows. Step by step. And Lex is actually being, clever and all that.
Yeah,
he's not bald, but whatever. I heard Gene Hackman refused to shave his hair, and that's why.
He's bald at the end.
Well, yeah, because they got him for that scene. It was like supposed to be a twist or whatever. I don't know. I know why they did it in the meta though, which the actor wouldn't shave his head.
Oh.
He refused to shave his head.
Except at the end.
Maybe that's maybe they put him like a cap.
A bald cap, maybe.
A bald cap.
Okay.
But I don't know, why did they imitate that for Batman versus Superman with Lex Luthor when they had like Jesse Eisenberg with the hair and?
Maybe they didn't know the reason why they did that in the first one.
Is this, or maybe Jason Eisenberg didn't want to shave?
Maybe.
Then again, why did you cast Jesse Eisenberg? We'll get to that if we get to Batman versus, or when we get to Batman versus Superman, because we will get to it.
No.
Come on, this is a movie we gotta talk about.
The
first time Batman and Superman are in this, at least it'll be more interesting, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know, but okay. You know what? We're selling the movie a little short. We got so bored during the second act that the third act
was.
It's just
It was much better. It's more exciting.
more exciting. The writing flowed better.
Yeah, there is cause and effect much better than before. So, and then after that, he goes and he saves some orphans. No, he digs under lifts one rock and just fixes the fault.
Yeah, he just fixes it.
It's just fixed. The whole thing, like you just see it just slowly start coming up.
Yeah. Why didn't he just use his heat vision and fuse it, melt all the rock together? Or his Constructo vision.
His Constructo vision.
From Superman 4.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yes. He uses it to repair the Great Wall of China.
What in the world? Why did he need to
From
repair?
Nuclear Man, it destroyed it. Nuclear Man destroyed it.
Darn Nuclear Man.
As happens.
As that, yeah. Yeah, so he just kind of does that, and then he goes, he saves some orphans, he never saved the people at the Hollywood sign.
No, he didn't. Okay, we're joking about the fact that they're orphans. They're probably just school kids, but we're like, oh no, the orphans! Oh no, the Girl Scouts, because those poor Girl Scouts died and no one cares. That might have been added and extended. Maybe. Because I don't remember that when I watched it.
No, I don't really remember that. He saves the orphans in the school bus. Well,
he saves the school children.
The school children in the school bus. Who else? He
saves Jimmy Olsen at the Hoover Dam, which, okay, as much as I can rag on effects, the effects of like it bursting.
Oh yeah,
those are fine. Those are fine. Those were good. Yeah.
I didn't notice that they were bad. So
yeah, the models it looked a little bit off, but it was fine overall. Yeah. The way he saved them was weird because you got Lake Mead, and it's massive, and then you got like this little rock slide he does, and it just splashes up against it.
Yeah, and then it just doesn't go over, and it's not even a very tall.
Yeah, even when I was younger, I'm like, wait, why isn't it going further down the Colorado River?
Yeah,
because that's an actual river.
Right. Yeah, I was a little confused with that, but whatever.
Yeah, I thought that was that. Okay, I got to take back a little bit that I gave the third act. That was Tismy. Right there.
That was a little Tismy. Yeah.
Okay, and then he went and shut off the electricity.
He did. All the electricity guys are freaking out. And he just shuts it off, and then points at them. He's like, "Is that man all right?"
Okay, I like that scene. It was a bit weird.
I'm not sure if
it was hilarious.
I'm not sure it was good to break the tension like that. But it was hilarious.
Yeah, I wouldn't have brought. You know what? You're right. I wouldn't have broke the tension.
Yeah,
there.
Because right now we're really tense and whatever, and then she's like, "Is that man all right?"
No. That I'm not about that. It's him shutting it off.
Well, yeah, him shutting it off.
Because that's just stupid. Now, if he used ice vision or ice breath and went, because he has it. Because he has it in the sequel.
Right.
So he does have ice vision, ice breath, ice vision. He also probably should have done that in the Colorado River, and I wonder if they just couldn't do that in the effects, but they could have done that with the electricity with the effects.
Yeah.
Would have been kind of just like do like a Miffy breath and it kind of like, because they did freeze things.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's kind of a joke, but this is this man all right? It's part of his character showing his selfless. I like that part.
Right. I thought it was so funny.
Like, okay.
Is that man all right?
It's not a joke.
I know.
It's like he's caring about other people.
But I just thought he just shuts it off and he just points at him. Is he all right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. But anyway, I don't, he did cut that tension.
Yeah, with that, because I wonder if they didn't mean to.
Maybe it's an accident. They didn't realize what they're doing.
Yeah. I think they're just like, oh, just have him turn it off, But he's Superman, so he can get like close to the electricity, which like electricity does hurt him, as established in Dark Knight Returns, for example, where he gets hit with electricity.
Oh yeah.
And so it can hurt him, but he can withstand it. So you'd be like, because if they'd had him like scream in pain with the electricity and go,
yeah, I feel like that would have been better.
Then that would have worked. Why?
Yeah.
They couldn't have done that, and it wouldn't have taken many effects either. Because I think they could have done the effects. Because we got to think from that meta view too.
Yeah, and even they could have just had him screaming or whatever.
Just like or like
some sparks.
No, you already see the sparks. So have some sparks come off of him as he screams, and then he grabs it, and you got like the fake lightning effect go down his arm, and you go. Yeah. Granted, why the emergency shutoff is like that? It should be in the control room.
Yeah, it was just random. It was too giant.
But I mean, if you don't think about it, that if you did it like that, it would have been fine from like a writing perspective, not like from a reality perspective.
Yeah.
Anyway, that whole Hoover Dam part was Tisby, except the braking effects. I'll give him that. I gotta give them some.
Good, yeah.
So honestly, though, with this being 78, I honestly think they did deserve the special effects award.
Yeah, it was pretty good for 78.
Yeah. The fourth one is way worse. They didn't chroma key it all right, and they did all this without computers and stuff, and it's crazy. But actually, no. Why did they win special effects? Star Wars had better special effects, and it came out in 77.
Oof. Did they win or were they nominated?
No, they won.
Oh.
But this was 78. Star Wars was 77.
I don't know how that works or anything.
I don't know.
Per year or...
Yeah, it's per year, every year.
Oh, so when Star Wars maybe won 77, they won 78.
Yeah, but I'm just commenting that Star Wars had better special effects. But Industrial Light and Magic is kind of some of the best in the business, and I don't think they worked on that film.
Oh, maybe not.
Very good. I mean... He literally founded the special effects company just because he couldn't find a company that could do the special effects he wanted.
Wow. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So then after the whole electrical thing and the dam,
then he's just like flying off, and then he hears Lois Lane screaming.
Yeah.
Because that's what she does. And so she's stuck in the car, and this
she gets
me
crushed.
out. As a child, this freaked me out. I was like, oh my word, she's getting buried alive and crushed beneath the earth.
Yeah.
It freaked me out.
I feel like she could have gotten out of the car, though.
Yeah, she was kind of like...
It felt agency-less. Like, if she tried climbing out of the car and
then, like, a boulder hit her
and then, like,
or
hit the car, and she would have felt like she had more agency.
Yeah, but she just kind of let things happen, and then she started climbing out, but it was too late.
Yeah, and I don't think she would have died, but maybe that's a special effects thing.
Maybe because it didn't really crush her.
Yeah, honestly...
Her mouth was still open from the dirt.
Yeah, they could have had, like, the car roof be, like, on top of her and had Superman rip it off. And
yeah. He just ripped open the door, and then he...
pulls her out. And then
he pulls her out.
And he kisses her.
And then she's dead. Then he kisses her.
They're not even married.
They're not married. So then... Yeah, but then this kind of ties around to the fact that he couldn't do anything to save her. Except the thing is that he could, like with his dad. With his dad, it was like a illness with him.
An illness
versus her, which he
could have heard her screaming.
Yeah, like it was within his power.
Yeah,
within his power to save her.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it is now within his power to save his dad because time travel. Why they introduced not even pre-crisis Superman introduced time travel. For Superman.
Yeah, that just kind of he was upset.
So he goes and he turns the Earth back, and that doesn't cause any like awfulness.
No, you just see things going back, and I wish that was how like just time worked, but that's not how time works. Isn't time in the fourth dimension? We're in the third. Can't just change something in the third dimension, and that makes the fourth dimension go backwards. Like, I can't take an apple and then eat it and then spin it the opposite way and then boom, it turns back to normal.
Or even let's say we did. So he turned back time, right?
Yeah.
and then he didn't go save the people at Hoover Dam. So is there another Superman saving the people at Hoover
Right,
Dam?
because then Jimmy Olsen shows up and is like, "Oh, Superman," and he makes a reference to Superman. So was there another Superman
Yeah.
that was saving them? If so, why doesn't he just do that? If he wants to do something at the same time, he could just do that. He could go get some work done, turn back time, and go out with Lois Lane or something while his other Superman is getting work done.
Yeah.
So, there could be infinite Supermans.
No, maybe it was a crisis power that they ripped off. Because, by the way, he did have telepathy in pre-crisis. That's why, yeah. Like, he could read minds. He actually could.
Whoa.
Pre-crisis. Dude, he had so many crazy powers pre-crisis. He could shoot out a mini Superman out of his hand.
Oh my word. Shoot a mini Superman. That's really weird, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's why Crisis on Infinite Earths really had to nerf him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so they say, so I kind of get what they're going, because they're like, it mirrors his father's death, right? And at the same time, Jor-El's like, don't interfere with history, don't interfere with history, don't interfere with history. Now, how Jor-El knew he could travel through time, I have no idea. But it kind of like echoed that.
Yeah, and then he just does.
And there's no consequences.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not like, okay, Flashpoint did the issue of Flash can travel through time, so why doesn't he save his mother? So much better.
Oh yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah. In that he messed everything up. In that his mother kind of has to die.
Right, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in this case, he just saved his girlfriend that wasn't his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He just saved her.
And then she was rude to him.
And then she's like, you have no idea what I've been through. And like, he's just smiling at her.
What a rug.
I know. I'm like.
He's like, well, you know, Lois Lane, other people have worries too.
Yeah, and
You're
she's
safe,
like,
and that's what matters.
I'm sorry. And I'm like,
I don't like her.
Don't like you.
Yeah.
You're annoying and rude to Superman. I like.
And then
Superman.
Jimmy Olsen comes in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Because he specifically said Lois would be coming by where he is, and then he comes from where she was.
Yeah, when Superman dropped him off on the road. He's like,
Yeah.
it's fine, Lois Lane will be coming
And then
back.
he kvetches about Superman doing it when he previously said it was fine because Lois was going to be there.
Yeah. That whole thing was really weird.
Also, he arrived before Lois went into the crack, meaning he should have been there.
Right, when she died. So what changed?
Nothing. I'm confused. Okay.
Yeah, the whole time travel thing is
So
just...
that's really the end of the plot?
Yeah, and then he just flies up into space, smiles at the camera.
Yeah, make out with Lois, fly in space, fly out for the camera.
Yeah, that's kind of... Yeah.
So that's the movie. So that's the plot.
Whole movie. It was interesting.
Interesting, yeah. So, but yeah, time travel. Honestly, the rules they set up don't make sense and it removes all stakes.
Yeah, it does.
Because I think an important thing about Superman is he's undefeatable, but he is finite at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And
he's not a god.
so contrary to what the...
Contrary to what?
I am the Superman lighting the way, and when we talk about the Superman character, we'll get into the Jesus references.
Yeah.
Because Superman is not Jesus.
No, it just doesn't work like that. It's not the same as like Aslan's Jesus.
Aslan. Did you know Aslan was Jesus?
Yeah, I didn't know. Really? Aslan's Jesus? Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
You know Ben Shapiro's wife is a doctor?
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, so Superman is finite. He can't do everything. And the movie actually, I think, played into that, which I liked with the whole you can't save both missiles.
Right.
With a more depowered Superman works fine.
Yeah, except that he was too OP.
Yeah, except they gave him time travel. So why didn't he just go 1 second? Or actually, didn't they do that in the Hishi? In the How It Should Have Ended?
I think they did. They did that in the Hishi. She's so funny.
Yeah, which is completely fair.
Like they keep making fun. They're like, just turn back time. They just keep making fun.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
Yeah, because it removes all stakes.
Yeah, once you introduce time travel, it removes stakes. which is why you have to do something to restore the stakes. Doctor Who has the fixed points in time.
Fixed points. Oh, I see.
As in, no matter what he does, he can't alter it.
Oh, really?
So, like, the destruction of Gallifrey is a fixed point in time. He can't fix it. He can't change it. This and that is a fixed point in time. He can't change it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And he also can't jump between universes.
Oh, interesting.
Which is why, Rose is stuck.
Aw, that made me cry.
Yeah. And with Star Trek, when they do time travel, they do it so you're in a parallel universe.
Oh, really?
So you don't affect the main universe.
I
You
don't
just
know
go
if I've
to
ever
another
seen-
universe.
I don't think I've seen
It was in the original series where they did a bit of time travel.
Oh, it was in the original series?
Yeah, and it's like a
Sounds
warp
like that,
accident. Like, it's a sheer accident. So it's not like they can use it. It's
Right,
technology of the week.
Yeah.
But, they use the parallel universe, so that restores the stakes.
Right.
So, and, with Back to the Future, it still has stakes.
Yeah, because
Even with the time travel.
it can get messed up.
Yeah, because they mess things up. The time travel messes things up.
Yeah, and they have done that. And then...
And, once you go back, you're on a ticking clock. Like,
yeah.
the stakes, Back to the Future is such a masterpiece. I love it.
Back to the Future.
Yeah. Love that film so much.
Yeah. But then when he just has no, consequences.
But yeah, there's no stakes. Like, it's not like he's in a parallel world. It's not like there's fixed points in time. So he could technically go back to, I'm going to go back to World War II. Sock Hitler in the jaw. Why doesn't he?
Right.
And he goes back and
Right, yeah.
there's no stakes.
Yeah, no stakes.
So it robs it of stakes and it gives no reason to do it. Which, yeah, I get what they were trying to do. But it's just bad writing. Like, you're going for an emotional thing.
Yeah, and the music didn't match either.
Yeah. So, that was the plot. Characters. What did you think of Superman?
I thought when we finally got introduced to him, I thought that he was relatable.
Yeah.
Because, if a bird has wings, why not use them?
Yeah. I'm with Superman, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Superman here. So I thought he was relatable. I thought that I could kind of...
And then his father actually had a good point. It wasn't like you can't reveal yourself to the world's danger. It's you have to be responsible.
Yeah.
You have a purpose, and that purpose isn't making touchdowns.
Yeah, right.
So I like that.
And then he immediately dies after the whole...
Which is, I mean,
But it didn't
it's
feel
fine.
like it was a huge, it didn't feel like, I don't know how to explain it. It didn't feel like it was a huge, moment or whatever. It was just kind of casually.
Yeah.
His dad's just kind of giving him some fatherly advice.
Yeah.
It didn't feel weird that, he dies immediately after he gives him the right advice. It didn't feel weird.
Yeah.
Because it was just kind of casual and just kind of... It
Kinda
was
talking, yeah.
I mean, parents will do that. If something's going on in your life, they'll say some stuff and it'll be super wise.
Yeah, I like that piece of writing.
Yeah,
It was
I thought that
good
writing
writing.
was good.
And it sets up his character because he's finding his reason, and his reason is, to inspire hope in people.
Yeah.
Truth, justice, and the American way,
Oh my
as
goodness.
it said.
Yeah.
As he wants to be a symbol.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead us into Jesus.
Oh yes.
Okay, I thought Man of Steel was actually Man of Steel's worse. Ooh, where they literally have him go out of the thing
In a cross.
yes, with the cross
Matrix
thing.
style.
Yes.
Oh my word.
I'm sorry. Stop making fictional characters Jesus.
Yeah, just
Because the point of in the New Testament it says the whole point is he's flawless.
right.
And you want a flawed character.
Yeah, you don't. They're Mary Sue's if they're
Yeah.
flawless and you can't relate.
But Superman is Jesus. It's an overblown metaphor. He's not Jesus. He never was in the comics. He's more of an immigrant. In that he's an immigrant that adopts the values of his country and he wants to do the best he can for his country.
Yeah, because he's truth, justice in the American way.
Yeah, the
Not
American
the
way.
Kryptonianite way.
Yeah, he adopts America as his home.
Yeah.
And I do think parts that did it well. He wants to help people. He feels responsible for his new home. And that's not a Jesus metaphor. That's not a Jesus thing at all.
No.
In fact, one can, even with the dork, I'm just leaving the dorkness aside, but the idea of, this Messiah coming to save us from ourselves is Superman supposed to be his epitome is the best of America.
Right.
The best an American can be. And he's an immigrant,
Yeah.
So it's, it's honestly, it's a very pro-immigration message, which makes sense because the writers were two Jewish immigrants.
Wolves. Right, which is interesting that they kind of based Superman off, like they tried to insert Jesus.
Yeah, that's not a
Writers
thing in the comics.
Two
Jewish guys. Yeah.
guys.
You know, it's clear that Superman is an immigrant adopting the way of his home country, of the country that he chose, and trying to do best by it. And Superman Red Son, which we have to talk about one time because I love it, does a really good job of showing that with him, you know, being the Soviet Union and adopting communism and trying to do good through communism.
Right.
And, you know, being a villain just because he has different ideas, as in, you know, it's truth, justice, and the Soviet Union's way.
Yeah. I mean, our truth, comrade.
Yes. And it's very, I love it so much. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that did it a whole lot better. And I think they did it a little bit. Like, they had the whole truth, justice, the American way.
Yeah.
And they had, you know, you're here for a purpose. But if they took out the Jesus stuff and removed it with the, with him, like, being less at odds. Because I can see why okay, so I can completely see how they have Jor-El saying something and then he rejects it in favor of the American way.
Yeah.
That could have been great.
That could have been, but it just kind of like he just said, I reject it.
Somehow? Because I'm emotional.
Yeah, it was based on emotions.
Not.
It wasn't even like, it was like pleasurable emotions.
Yeah.
Rather than like,
like to save her and not to save his dad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, you've known her for a week.
Yeah, you don't.
Like, it may not be sad if a girl I knew for a week died, but I wouldn't turn back time. How does he even know he can turn back time?
I don't know. He just like decided, oh, I may destroy the whole Earth, but I could possibly turn back time.
Yes.
So.
Eh?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think he was the second strongest character. His values could have been a bit better done, but they were there. I could pick up on them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a bit contradictory with the Jesus stuff. Anyway, so
now, how do you think he changed?
He rejected Jor-El for a woman.
Whether or not that's good.
Yeah, his whole point is he decided to take an active role as he went from passive to active.
Yeah.
Which is a fine character growth.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, there's that whole awkward anger issue in the beginning that just kind of was resolved.
No. Well, with the conversation, with him learning to, like, let go a bit.
I guess. But that was resolved really quickly.
Yeah, it was resolved pretty quickly, but whatever.
Yeah. So then let's talk about
Lois.
Okay.
Actually, let's talk about Lex.
I want to talk about Lex first.
Because he's the villain.
Okay, we can talk about
We do the villain and then we do the because then we have to talk about the comic. Okay. Yeah, we kind of talked about a lot of this already. His intro I thought was kind of weak.
Yeah, I thought
it was weak and strong. If you know what it like, parts of it were good, parts of it were bad.
I thought if Otis had been more competent.
Oh my god, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
He's an idiot, and like maybe that was like a '70s thing, the bumbling sidekick.
Maybe.
But just because it's a trope doesn't mean excuse it.
Right.
Like, just because it's a trope doesn't mean it's good. It's bad. It stands on its own.
Right. So, and then his whole motivation was just to swindle and do some real estate.
Okay, well, whatever. I mean, Superman's is to be good and his is to be bad. So they kind of have to collide.
Mediocre.
And I kind of like how he's clearly has ambition.
Yes, he does.
He seeks out the confrontation with Superman.
Yeah.
And, of course, you know, Superman, of course, wants to save people, but he seeks it out and he plans for it, which I really liked, because it shows his character as, like, a smart guy.
He's really smart most of the time. 200 IQ or whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, I liked his character.
He's really arrogant.
He's arrogant.
It really bothered me when you ripped that book up. Like, I was like,
oh my goodness. He,
this
like, rips
guy's a villain.
Yeah.
This guy's a villain. He's ripping pages out of a book.
So, honestly, I think Lex was the strongest part of the film. And his scenes were the best scenes.
I think so.
Because I wasn't bored whenever he was on camera.
No, he was.
It's like I was bored with Superman, even though I liked Superman.
Yeah, I like Superman, but there are times when I'm a little bored. Yeah. So I thought thought he was good. I mean, they had opposing values.
Greed versus selflessness.
Yeah.
Responsibility. They should have done more with the selflessness for Superman and more with the irresponsibility for him.
Yeah.
But it's like a middling conflict. Like, it's not like Joker, Batman, Dark Knight conflict, or even Lex Luthor and Superman in the animated series conflict.
Yeah, what's their conflict?
Okay, so the idea is, you know how I talk about how he's an immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lex is the best human beings can be, and he still falls far short of Superman, and it tears him up inside. In a word, so he hates Superman because of his jealousy. Yeah. Because in any other story, he would be the hero. Right. He'd be on top. Mm-hmm. But just from a cruel twist of fate, he's not.
Yeah, this alien randomly lands on the planet.
Yeah!
Like, what the heck?
Just invading his own thing.
Yeah. Just minding his own business, being the best of the best.
Yeah, exactly. And then, there's also the whole, he's like this alien, how can we trust him? Which some incarnations lean more into than others. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good angle, because, we know Superman's selfless. But how did they know? Right. But that's for them. So, yeah, I liked him. I honestly think, I think he's been done better, but he did well, and Gene Hackman, I think, played him fairly well.
Yeah, I think I played him well.
I liked it. So, Lois. Hated Lois.
Lois. She was
okay. Arrogant. She turned him into a pedo, like into a creepo. Yeah. Like, she's introduced as a 7-year-old, so she's 19 or 20.
Yeah, and he's 30.
By the way, that goes more into the Jesus metaphor, because Jesus started his ministry at 30.
Okay, actually, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, and he started it at 30.
Yeah, I know. It's just kind
of... I mean, at least it's more subtle. I'll give him that. Yeah. It's more subtle. Granted, I don't think they should have done it at all. But...
Yeah, and like her whole motivation is that she just doesn't want to be some boring person with kids.
She doesn't want to be bored with kids. Yeah, she doesn't want to be boring.
So, like...
It's just funny because her character's boring.
Like, it's not even like she wants to further her career.
Yeah.
It's that
it's a negation.
Yeah.
Not a positation. It's, I mean, I could see what they were doing with, like, I don't want to be just some small town person. I have ambition. I want to be someone. Right. Which is a fine enough motivation. Lots of people have that motivation in real life. But it wasn't communicated very well.
It was like a one-off.
Yeah. At least they gave her a motivation.
I wouldn't have known unless I was taking notes.
Yes. I'll be honest. Because we, like, paused. We're like, oh, that's it. Write that down. Yeah. I think... Do I have that line... written down? I do. I have another line from her motivation. A good reporter doesn't get good stories; he makes them great. Which is kind of to be like her tagline, but it's also Perry White's tagline.
Yeah.
So it kind of softened.
Disappears.
Yeah, it kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And they didn't really like do a through line with her motivation.
No.
Which, I mean, she's the love interest.
Yeah. I mean, and overall, she really didn't have a lot of agency.
No, she didn't.
Like, her only agency was kicking that guy in the face.
Yeah, and that was stupid.
Yeah, and then she just immediately lost agency afterwards.
Yeah.
So we're just like, things just happen.
Like, I hate to say it, but it might be sexist.
It may be a little sexist, yeah. Like, she's this big-time reporter.
Like, she's the damsel in distress, but she's not that character. So, why doesn't she have any agency?
I don't know, because she's cast as, like, this big-time reporter. They'll take people on.
Yeah, I'm a tough girl, Yeah, and then she doesn't have any agency.
Doesn't.
Yeah, because, like, Star Wars did it better where Leia had agency.
Yeah.
So, you can write a good female character with agency, and we can go in. Even, I want to compare her to Mary Jane. Do you think Mary Jane in the first Spider-Man had agency?
Oh, it's been a while since I've seen her Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, I think she had more.
I think she had more agency
and
than
she's
her.
Like, anyway, we'll discuss that when we get to Spider-Man. So I just didn't like her. She had no agency. She was rude to
rude. She's a jerk.
Here's the thing. If a person's rude to the person we like, we won't like them.
Yeah.
And then they're in love and we're all confused. Right. I didn't like her as a child.
No, she was kind of just annoying as a child.
Yeah, and she can't spell. That's just the weirdest bit of characterization ever.
Yeah. It didn't even add anything.
No, it's just... I think they thought it was funny.
I guess so, but...
It's a little bit funny. No, it just made her seem like kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
It was like a degradation to her character.
Yeah. And yeah. It
Like
didn't
if
add.
I mean a one-off, that's fine.
Like were they trying to? Well, no, because her being a jerk was her flaw.
Yeah. Because her being a jerk, which maybe they were like trying to write maybe they were trying to write a strong woman, right? And kind of, if you look at strong women in 70s, they tend to be jerks. Like in the
That's
first
true.
Star Wars, Princess Leia was a jerk.
Tis true.
But that's, because they didn't really know how to write a strong woman.
Right.
Like a strong female character. But she's not a strong female character. She has no agency.
Right.
So she's just a bad character. Because Leia, with her being a jerk, well, she carries it. Because she has agency.
Yeah.
And it's not like she's, like, that much of a jerk.
Yeah.
But she's kind of a jerk, but she can be nice and have more tender moments,
Yeah, she can.
And we didn't hear her thoughts going, what I would like to do to Han, or what I would like to do
it'd
to
be
Luke.
Luke at that point, and
Oh,
that's just, I know. That's
You can't
just,
see it, but I made a face.
Yeah,
Anyway,
just bad.
that he made her sound like a creepo. Like, that's
Yeah, it did.
weird.
It did. I mean, at least she didn't sexually assault Superman.
Well, Superman sexually assaulted
Yeah,
her.
so like.
So she's got one on Rose Tico. Hasn't sexually assaulted anyone.
Poor Finn.
Poor Finn.
Poor Finn. He's just trying to,
He's just trying to, like,
complete
give
his
life.
arc.
He's trying to complete his character arc.
And then she's like, "No, now let me kiss you." And he's like,
Okay, this has turned into a Last Jedi rag.
"Yeah."
Every film criticism podcast will eventually go back to how awful The Last Jedi is.
Yeah.
Somehow.
It's just so bad.
Turned into a Last Jedi rehash.
So overall, I mean, she just.
I don't like her
I
character.
didn't like her character either.
Yeah. So, music.
Music. Oh, let me look at my notes for music. I absolutely love the Superman theme.
Oh, it's
like,
amazing.
That's
it
Dad's
deserved
ringtone.
it deserved the nomination
Yeah.
for best music. Like it just did.
So good. Now I did feel like they would sometimes use it improperly.
It needed to be
Completely
mixed
the
better.
editor's fault.
Yeah.
And like sometimes they use it like when he lifts the truck, they kind of do the Superman theme a little bit. That was good.
Yeah.
Where else do I have? After he like does the Fortress of Solitude and he leaves after 12 years, they kind of do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That was fine. And it was kind of weird because sometimes the music would just not be there. And like there's two levels of music. No music or like really loud
Bombastic.
music.
Bum,
Yeah.
dum, dum, dum. Like you didn't have like the little woodwinds
Yeah,
going. And...
which is John Williams can't do that.
Yeah, he did it in Star Wars.
Yeah, so I'm not really
Did
sure
he
what
not?
happened.
Did he have like half an hour and could only write
I don't know,
three
because
themes?
Star Wars was 1977.
Was 77?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there was only 3 or 4 themes in there.
And yeah, because Superman was in development since like 73. It was in pre-production.
Oh wow.
Well, pre-production,
Yeah.
not like filming.
Yeah. So it was yeah, I thought it was cool how when he was like going to take out the missile, there's like this variation on the Superman theme.
Yeah.
I thought that was
I
interesting.
thought that was cool.
good. I like variations on theme based on what's going on
Mm-hmm.
because you have leitmotifs which are like.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Wagner's already like established all of the stuff that's like it hasn't advanced beyond Wagner.
We're not talking about music right now.
What?
No,
Oh, I
we're
thought we
not.
were.
Well, I mean, we can talk about Wagner and like.
No, I was
musicians and all
saying
that,
what
but,
he
like,
did with music and the variations and stuff. It didn't go beyond that. Like Star Wars did a better job with that.
Oh, you mean like Superman?
Yeah, Superman. I'm saying
Oh.
Superman's music did not advance past Wagner. It didn't even match it.
Well, yeah, there was with matching it.
Yeah.
It wasn't as great as.
Yeah, honestly, taken it by itself, the music is good, but with the film, it wasn't as good.
And the thing is that and like some of it was really mismatched. Like when she was dying, it was heroic music. She's dying.
Yeah, she's screaming.
Like she's suffocating. She's being crushed. And it was heroic music. So I felt like it was just very poorly mixed and gave the wrong tone at the wrong time and left you confused.
Yeah.
To be honest. yeah. Other than that, when Krypton was being destroyed, it was like this wonderment and this hopeful tune.
Yeah, this
Krypton's being
didn't make
destroyed.
any sense.
People are dying. So, yeah. I thought it was kind of cool how at the very end, when Lois Lane was talking to Jimmy, they're like, oh, too bad Clark's not here. And then she's like, oh, Clark and Superman are never here at the same time.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would he be in California?
And then it just kind of had a little bit of the Superman theme, and I thought that was cool.
Okay, that was...
I just kind of like a little teaser, and then she's like, oh, no. So for music-wise, I thought that was good. I think that scene was kind of stupid, but music-wise, I thought that scene was good. So, yeah, that's kind of music. You want to talk about the dialogue?
I feel like some were bad, some were good. Like,
yeah, I enjoyed
it was mostly
how
forgettable.
And on Krypton that they had like this high and archaic language and whatever.
Yeah, I did like that.
That was good. Some of them were just like, remember, son, always remember.
Remember what?
Like, what? Yeah, okay. Let me see. I did really like the, you've got me, who's got you?
Or another quote I like, I'm going to fight for truth, the justice, and the American way. We're going to have to fight every elected official in the country.
She did have some good comebacks sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, a line I really didn't like. I'm holding hands with a god.
Yeah.
Because, like, DC kind of really likes to lean into the gods among men angle.
Yeah, they do. Like, gods among us.
Which Injustice, Gods Among Us.
Yeah.
Which, I actually found that movie there, and it was like $12.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You already spent way too much on movies.
Tax deduction.
No. Yeah. The whole thing with like the awkward flirting.
Yeah, and he's...
Oh, yes. He was sitting there.
Oh, wait. I want to go to this Lex Luthor line.
You're right.
Where he's like, where Superman's like, do you like planning the death of innocent people? He's like, no. Like causing the death of, by causing the death of innocent people or something like that. I'm like...
He's like, no. He's like, you doing something planning the death of innocent? He's like, no, by causing the death of innocent people. It's like, yes, Lex.
I'm like, okay,
All
that
right. That was a good comeback.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
And, okay, we didn't talk about it yet, but Otisville, that was hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
He's like, it's just a little place, Otisville.
Otisville. He would not let him have it.
I wouldn't let Otis have it either.
With
I would name the trash company after him because he's trash.
Oh man, they be mean to Otis now. He has a mother who loves him.
Not even his mother loves him.
Oh,
Are you
come
kidding?
on
Dude,
now.
would you love a child who was that much of an idiot?
Yeah.
Like, imagine you were, like, cooking, you're like, oh, just get me the sugar. And he's like, oh, okay. And he goes and he's like, here you go. And, like, dumps it all over you. Here's the sugar. Like, that's something you would do as a child.
Look, I'm just saying. Okay, but...
It's a face only a mother could love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about we all have our little faults. Mine's in California.
Oh.
That one was good.
That's such a good line. I love that line.
Yeah, I thought it was so good.
That, honestly, that's my favorite line. And okay. The movie was boring, but I can see why some people would like it.
Yeah.
And I can see why honestly, it's decently written.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty decent. Now, if we go back to their whole interview with Lois and Superman.
Oh, that dialogue.
Okay, no, but specifically,
okay.
He was talking, and Lois said something, I forget, and he's like, Peter Pan flew with children, Lois. And it just weirded me out, because Peter Pan flew with children, Lois, because she made a reference to him being Peter Pan.
Or Clark made a reference to him being Peter Pan, calling him like
Superman.
Clark made a reference to Superman being imaginary like Peter Pan.
Oh yeah.
And then she repeated it to Superman.
And then for some reason he's dogging on Clark.
Yeah.
And then he was him, and then he's like, Peter Pan flew with children.
Well, he wants us to preserve his secret identity.
I guess so, but he just rags on himself too much.
Which.
But it's just like,
you know what? I don't care.
I think of her as a child, so like,
yeah.
I feel like this is a Peter Pan flying with.
Yeah, because we meet her as a child. We shouldn't have, I don't know why they did that.
Because we would not have known that she was so young.
19 to 20.
And he's
They did things different in the 70s. That's all I'm saying.
That's crazy. And just saying, Superman was so quippy.
Like, he really was. I feel like that's a Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, I was like, what? I thought it was Spider-Man, you know? And then he was just really quippy. So overall, dialogue was a mix of good and bad, and mediocre.
Yeah, good, the bad.
The good
None of it
Lex Luthor.
was like, that's how we win. Not by fighting those we hate, but by saving those we love. Like, it was just like average bad dialogue. You know?
It wasn't horrible.
It's not like I like sand, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible.
Wait, can I gotta stop ragging on Star Wars. What's some other bad dialogue besides Star Wars?
I don't even know.
Dude, Star Wars needs better dialogue.
It really does. It's a little rough, not gonna lie. Do you want to talk about the conflict? There's not much there.
Honestly, I think we got that with the characters when we talked. No, we got that with the characters because we talked about it when we talked about Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I only have one thing written down, and it's kind of basically what we're talking about with the characters.
Yeah.
It just kind of was mediocre conflict.
Yeah. So, overall, now that we've had time to get our ducks in a row and our thoughts out, what is your subjective rating of the film?
Subjective.
Yes.
Out of 10.
Yeah, we'll do it out of 10.
4.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Yeah.
Objectively, I think I'd bump it up to a 5. Cause,
I give it a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, because there are some parts of it that are good writing. Some of the dialogue was good. The third act wasn't bad. In fact, some parts of it were pretty decent.
Yeah.
And, I gotta give them, it was groundbreaking when it came out with the special effects.
Yeah.
I did like Superman.
Yeah,
So it's not like they made him unlikable.
Yeah. Lex, good villain.
I liked Lex as a villain. But it was just so boring, so I was just...
boring until we got to the third act, and the third act felt kind of rushed, and things just kind of happened all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like what happened is that the second act led into the third act, but the first act didn't lead into the second act, and the second act kind of dragged and meandered, and that killed the movie.
Yeah, I think so. You have to have this give and take of having disasters and having dilemmas, and they didn't have that. They just had
no disaster for Superman until the very end.
Yeah. And so that made it boring.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I'll agree.
Yeah. I mean...
But yeah, I think I agree with your rating. I give it a subjective 3 or 4 out of 10, an objective 5 out of 10.
Yeah. I agree.
And, I don't know, 6 out of 10, actually. I think I agree with you there.
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
So, yeah, that's our opinion on the film.
Yep, and next week.
So has our hunt for a film with decent writing succeeded so far?
Well, not yet. I guess we'll have to continue the hunt next week.
Yeah, and we will be doing that with Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi one.
Hey.
Which we'll have to see if the nostalgia.
Yeah, because I remember it being great.
I remember loving that film.
Yeah, that was great. Until next week.
This podcast was brought to you by viewers like you. Want to support what we do and keep our podcast on the air? Please donate to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmhunters.